Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. My name's Jade, and this is the Odd Couple Rant. And today I'm joined by my good friend Pete Johns, and we're going to be talking all things YouTube. So if you've got some questions, most likely we've got answers. Or maybe not, who knows? We're going to kick off with a song by Pete Johns. It's called Choices. It's Orange. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade and this is the Odd Couple Rant, and I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're strapping in, ready for some answers to some questions you may be thinking about YouTube, and hopefully we can provide them. But first I need to cover some business because, yes, my friends, this show is, of course, sponsored by our dear friends at DistroKid, and you can release your music through DistroKid for the very low price of $24.99 a year on all of the streaming services, including Spotify, if you so decide to. Yes, indeed. You can use my code, that is distrokid.com/VIP/JadeStarr to get 7% off your first year. You get unlimited songs, unlimited lyrics, Spotify check marks, royalty splits. You'll get access to personal promotional tools and mobile app access. There's another plan also. There's a Musicians Plus. You get 2 artists with this one. The Musician one, you get 1 artist. Or you can be like me. So the Musician Plus is $44.99. Or you can be like me and have the ultimate one and have too many artists to even be able to cope with. But that is completely up to you. DistroKid has been part of my life since 2016 when I first moved across and put all my stuff back out again. I switched from another provider, and I haven't looked back. So way before they began sponsoring this show, and I can't complain. You know why? Because they just let me upload my music. They don't hassle me. I don't hassle them. It just gets uploaded. It's all done. Everything's easy peasy beneasy, and we're going to find out a little bit more about DistroKid later on in the show. Once again, thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring this show, and we're going to promise we're going to try and not get too rough with this one today. Alrighty, the man you just heard there, his music being played there was Pete Johns, and he is from Studio Live today. He's a fantastic musician with the catchiest hooks in the business. He has a fantastic channel that has amassed over 150,000 subscribers, but who's counting anyway? And he's just a nice bloke, yeah? And I've had him in my house as well too. Woohoo! So much fun. Anyway, let's bring him on and stop talking shit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Pete Johns. Get some applause. Woo! Hi, Pete.
Hello. How's it going? How's everyone today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all that stuff. Yeah, do you know that DistroKid put your music on YouTube? Look, there's your link. If you were thinking, what's the link here? Yes, no, wonderful to be here as always. I love talking on your channel because I can say what I want and my channel doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you got a sponsor from DistroKid too, so you know
it is true.
You know the rules.
I'm feeling happy and positive and ready to rock and roll today. We are gonna we'll talk about some of the pros, cons, and everything in between, the good, the bad, and the ugly of YouTube and of the streaming world and the YouTube sharing world. Because yeah, there's much to discuss.
There absolutely is, and welcome to everybody here in the live chat. You know the bizzo. We'll give you a call out a little bit later on. Thanks. Talk amongst yourselves, have fun. There's lots of things to do in the chat. Look, there's even a cool thing called XP, which we're going to talk about today also. But as you said, let's start off on a good note because, man, there's so much negativity going on in the world. I think we need to start nice and good and happy today. Pete, why do you love YouTube?
So I love YouTube because it is the platform that enables me to get stuff out to the world. It actually enables me to connect with other people. And I think now more than ever, and even in 2015 when I first sort of started doing YouTube more seriously, we needed stuff like this. We needed somewhere where we could connect. And for those that are older like me, you'll recall that trying to share video online or anything online, the bandwidth, the amount you'd have to pay for bandwidth, how difficult it was to host your own website, to host your own video content, it made it almost impossible to do what we do now. There was no live streaming per se. It was all real media, 56K streams and files. And it really did cost a fortune. So when YouTube first came out and they're like, yeah, you can upload those cat videos for free and put them out there to the world, and then other people can watch them unlimited. Because that was the other thing. If you were popular, if you had a video that blew up back in the day, you were paying like literally thousands of dollars in bandwidth to cover the cost of streaming that video and people watching that video. Because, don't know if you know this, folks, but servers cost money and data cost money. So yeah, that's sort of the first part of it. And then I think, yeah, the second part is just community. There's a bunch of people watching you and me rant for the next couple of hours right here. They couldn't do that without YouTube. And the fact that we get to do it pretty much for free, and sometimes they pay us, is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, we'll have all of the foibles and all the comments, and I think you and I both agree that we only want YouTube to be the best it possibly can for you, me, and everyone that uses it. And some of the decisions that they've made in more recent times have maybe not made it as good of an experience. So yeah, we're coming from a place of love. We just want you to be better, YouTube. We really believe in you. You can do it.
We do. Well, I come here because, firstly, I started my YouTube channel back in 2007, and I was incredibly intimidated because we didn't have cameras like we do now. You just couldn't do it on a smartphone and upload stuff. You needed a computer. You needed stuff. It just was a thing, and I didn't have the money to do that. But I was too busy investing in being in a band, which is not good financially. You're always broke. These days, it's about friends. more than anything.
Yeah.
That's it. The people I have in my life, the people I talk to every day, the people I surround myself, they're my friends. The outside world seems like a cold, horrid, dark place full of weirdos, and I much prefer the weirdos here on YouTube. So there's that. That's really important. I love making content. Content is just, it's exciting. I love the process, the thumbnails. I love going live. It feels like a live gig. Encouraging others, that is the main focus of this channel. That's why I started. I wanted to help people get better at doing things and myself get better at the same time, because I don't know everything. I know shit.
Yeah.
And I like seeing people follow their dreams. And even if sometimes those dreams aren't exactly what you want them to be, that's still having somebody listen to your music. Even one person is so much more exciting than having 50,000 people who I'll never even have any contact with. And I think lastly, it's a challenge. It's something that, you know, it's so competitive. There's so many people who are doing really, really well, and it almost feels like the way the world is politically, like the leaders are up the top and you're down there. But I love that challenge. It's pushing every day, pushing to do something better, pushing to bring things out. So, and YouTube gives us that opportunity. Is it perfect? Nothing is. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It does. It democratizes the ability to create content and to be able to share with people. And there's not many other places that actually allow you to do that. I mean, distribution, digital distribution is kind of the same thing. For those of us that were doing music and duplicated cassettes and had CDs in your boot that you'd sell to friends for $5, like that was a grind. And now people are like, oh no, only 20 people came to the premiere of my new song and I've only had 200 views. I'm like, there's 200 people that give a crap about your music, dude. That's cool. That's rad. They're like, oh, but I saw blah, 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 blah has 2,000 and blah, 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 blah has 2 million. It's like, yeah, you can compare yourself to other people till the cows come home, but it's not actually going to help you. You need to set your own goals for success. And yeah, if you want to be challenged, if you want to sell 1 million copies of your records, well then, yeah, you've got that opportunity to try and do it. But as we'll talk about, do it the right way, because there's some traps and pitfalls that people have fallen into, especially with music sharing and when it comes to YouTube and other platforms that have damaged, shall we say, their ability to do things because they've taken the shortcut. And sometimes when you go through the shortcut, you fall into the quicksand, and it's very hard to get out.
Absolutely. And I think another thing many people don't realize, even in these little communities we have, what I've found very, very encouraging is seeing so many just musician channels reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, when I started YouTube, my music was on from 2007 all the way up until 2020 when I started doing How to App on iOS. I only had 300 subscribers from 2007 all the way to 2020. Because it was a different time. Music was not really listened to on YouTube. So I know it seems like a real struggle and a pain in the ass to look at your music channel and go, shit, I've only got like 600 subscribers and I push really hard. But man, at least things are moving a lot faster than what they used to. And the one thing I can congratulate YouTube on is letting people get some form of monetization after 500 subscribers. That has changed so many people we know in this community, the way they make content. Leela, there's so many people. And sure, there's faults looking at pole vault. I know, man, the system is broken in some ways and you get demonetized and you don't know why, but we'll talk about that stuff as well. But it is encouraging, to see, artists at least 1,000 subscribers. Like, wow, you can actually maybe make 3 cents.
Yeah, and look, it's the case that really at the end of the day, and I know I'll talk about the technological nerdy stuff, but the fact that we're not paying for any of the bandwidth, we're not paying for the server space. You've basically got your own web page that you don't have to maintain and that you don't have to pay for, that YouTube pays for. So the fact that they pay us anything and don't charge us to use this service is actually pretty cool, because there's a lot of other people putting their hands out for money. And if it wasn't for the advertising, and if it wasn't for the algorithm, and if it wasn't for the like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell annoyances, none of us would make any money, because we are all reliant on advertisers to actually make anything, because the only way YouTube have more money than they spend on all their servers and all their streaming is if they get more money from advertisers than they pay for that. So we are providing a value. And yeah, guess what? When you use the platform, for. When you build your house on someone else's land, you don't get all the money. You pay the rent, you pay the toll, you pay the juice or the vig, and then if there's something left on top, that's good. And look, it's why it's a hard work for musicians to actually make a living these days, because there's even less money in music, because music doesn't have the advertising that we have with video. Video is actually very unique in that it's not just funded by the fans. It's not just you paying. Some of you are, some of you are on YouTube Premium, which we'll probably talk about later, and that is helping fund us. But the vast majority of you are clicking, or let's be honest, probably skipping ads. But those little micro transactions are what actually keep Jade and my lights on. So if
True.
you're using an ad blocker now, you're bad and you should feel bad. No, I get it. The ads are annoying, but it's the reality. It's the whole, if the product's free, you're the product. And if you're the product, you're probably watching ads or doing something, giving up your data in some way. And yeah, you can say it's bad, or you can say it's reality. It's kind of both.
And it's a testament to the people in this broader community that we have of musicians and people who aren't musicians who watch along too, that it's you guys who are helping get everybody to these larger number of subs and supporting each other. And again, we can smash this dead horse over the head over and over again. We are very blessed. Like, no matter if there's little bits of drama here and there, but overall, you look at this community to what's going on outside the rest of the world at the moment and go, wow, I feel pretty safe and comfortable here. So congratulations to all of you, because you continue to support each other. And that's what brings me back each day. It's just super encouraging to see it. And speaking of, let's give some shout outs now. Let's do it now. Firstly, I want to say happy birthday to Ali Gritzl, who has turned 30 today. So young, as such a baby. And, everybody... Nappy's in the chat for her because she's such a youngster. So happy birthday to Ali. Gary Harbs, Thomas Christ, Country Walking, Hugh Caldwell. Help me out by saying something in the chat if you've only chatted earlier on. Semtex Cow, Pole Vault, Paul O'Farrell, DJ Big Red. We've also got Abe the Band, who just says, I broke 400, and I think that's pretty cool. Absolutely. Gary Hub says, not only the 500 subs, but also lowering the hours to 3,000. Fantastic. Still Illa, thank you so much for the super chat there. You rock, and welcome along. Country Walking. I saw Ed B. Metal. I saw Ed Zelinsky up the top. Jenny Jolivet, hello to you. Russ was in the chat as well. I think I said hi to Hugh. Happy birthday. Yeah, cakes. Crumpets and cakes and birthday wishes in the jet. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, boom. Whoop, boom, boom, boom. Do the things.
It's got to be roses for ladies.
Roses for the ladies.
We need to separate genders.
And bananas for the men. Yeah, that's right. Boom. Del, hello to keep on track, Jay. Keep on track. Denise, I'm trying to find you all. I think I can only go that high. So if I've missed you, we'll try and come back around and say hello to you all. Oh, you wonderful, wonderful people. I want to dive into this because this fascinates me. I used to work at a corporate company called American Express. And when I started working there, the focus on what they taught us. Now, we had training at American Express, and it went for dead set, Pete, 3 months before you actually hit the floor working at the company. And they're all about these things called the blue box values, which is stuff like a lot of corporate companies have this mantra, community and being kind to people and all this bullshit that they shove down your throat. But one of the things that they talk about is features and benefits. So when you provide a feature, it's only a feature because it has a benefit. And so if it has no benefit to you, then it's not a fucking feature. And these days, and I'm not just talking about YouTube here, but more and more, we get these things that are told to us that they're features, and I'm increasingly going, scratch my head, I'm struggling to find a benefit out of this.
It is weird.
Yes.
Yeah, the feature's like, oh, we took away the dislike button, so you can't see the numbers of that. I'm like, that doesn't benefit me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong now.
Yeah.
Or the feature is, we'll tell you every time you put out a video, we'll rank it between 1 and 10. It's like, so you're protecting my mental energy, my mental health by taking away the dislikes, and now you're telling me that my video was 10 out of the last 10. It's actually the worst video you've ever made, Johns. So yeah, like it is weird. They just want to add in features, and XP. community and hype and yeah, we can go on and
I've
on.
got
But
it all
then
listed.
then there's features that have benefits, like Still Illa just gave you a $5 donation, and you could see
Yes,
that, and that popped up, and that creates an instant connection. Other people in the community see what a rad dude Still Illa is, and
absolutely.
you get that instant gratification of someone actually caring enough about what you do that they're actually going to choose to donate to you. So
Dopamine.
that's yeah, hit me with that dopamine. But yeah, and it's weird because, and again, we've already said at the start we love YouTube. It's kind of the only game in town, the only platform that does what it does and that suits for us. But yeah, it is a challenge because they often say when they're releasing these new features and these benefits that it's like, oh, we're doing this for you as a creator.
Me?
But then on the flip side, it's creating this amazingly intense pressure on the vanity metrics, which I know is my pet peeve and something we'll talk about later. But the very fact that everyone that's mentioned things in the chat, it's not their fault, it's YouTube's fault. You're like, I get 100 subs a month, I've got 300 subs, I've got 1,000 subs, I've got 500 subs. My watch time this week was 14,000 hours. I've had 4 million views overall. The reason we all talk about this is that they put it out there and they make sure that you know what that is happening because you're constantly getting your updates and your graphs and your charts and your numbers, and it just creates this world where everyone chasing number go up. And again, it's the reality of the situation around the world for a lot of reasons, but yeah, the community side of it is so much more important. And if especially if you're a musician or you're a creator sharing stuff, you shouldn't really be caring if it's weird. I've seen people trying to get subscribers by saying, well, if you know someone, get them to subscribe. You got multiple accounts, get them to subscribe.
No.
Like, that's not helping you at all. That's actually damaging you because those people don't care about your content in the nicest possible way. The uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, and babysitters of all the people that dig your stuff don't dig your stuff. And if they subscribe to you, yeah, number go up, but your actual community engagement, which is the most important thing, go down. And I think people are chasing the short term. And look, it's where we are in 2025, isn't it? It's all about now, short term dopamine hit, as opposed to how do I actually build up a reputable brand? How do I actually build up a community of people and surround myself with the right sort of people? Not just like-minded people that think the same as me, that gets boring as well, but people that will not only challenge me, but also fundamentally support me when I need it. And I think that's what the best thing about YouTube overall is, and you mentioned it at the very start, and I'll keep talking about it. It's the people. It's a bit like when you work. I'm sure at American Express, you didn't love the blue box values. You probably had some managers that were less than ideal, but I bet there were some cool people that you went out for beers with on a Friday and got to gossip about all the
Oh.
crap that you dealt with in the last week, and that's what it's about.
Well, at Amex, we used to call it gay mix because everybody's gay there. But it just is what it is. And oh man, did we drink? The thing is with the blue box values, it's the reason I left because they instilled these values into me and I believed them and I rose up the ladder very quickly and I really believed in the company and I got so many amazing doors open for me through hard work and I apply everything I learnt there. I love my time there. Unfortunately, I left in 2012 because they had a town hall meeting with the CEO, Ken Chenault. He came all the way out from America. We had a town hall. If you don't know what a town hall meeting is, folks, they have the CEO come out and we all sit there and they tell us their plans for the oncoming year. And it was that day where they said, we've decided we have all this amazing info on all our customers, their shopping spend and all this, so we can better help them with the benefits of the features we provide them. We're going to decide to start selling that info to third-party companies and not tell our customers. And I left a month later because it went against the blue box values. And sure, I gave up a nearly $200,000 a year job, but it went against my values and I left. So that always troubles me with that kind of stuff. That they're doing nefarious things to the customers that they say they care for. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, and I had a very similar thing with one of my companies, which I mean, I say it should remain nameless. You go to my LinkedIn, you'll see exactly who it is. But yeah, I had the same sort of problem that they had all of these values, and I actually asked our CEO one time at a town hall because I was at that point I was kind of a bit over it. So I put my hand up and I'm like, so we've got these 5 values. Is there any reason why they're not ranked? So if I'm doing something, is delivery above or below safe and sustainable? And they were like, oh, the thing is that they're all equally important. And I'm like, okay. So that answer basically says delivery, of course, idiot. Number go up, shareholder. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't care if you work yourself into a complete fade out as long as you deliver the value and get the job done. So they, without saying anything, they said exactly that. And yeah, I fear, even though we've got good things happening at YouTube, Renee Ritchie, who I like and respect and
I
think is a
feel
good
bad for
dude,
him, man.
community guy over at YouTube, but he would be, from all the things we see external from Renee, he would be fighting some
Oh,
internal
I
battles.
know.
He would
I
be
know.
like butting heads with the sales team and the marketing team because every company has it. I don't care who they are. They've all got that team of people in the sales and marketing department that have completely different ideas to the people in the implementation and have completely different ideas from the people in the customer experience. And I've been on every side of that. I've worked operationally, I've worked in customer experience and customer advocacy programs, and I've worked in the sales and marketing teams. And it is night, day, and nerds. Like it's just
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
different. There's the operational people that go, here's what we can do. You got the sales and marketing people saying, but wouldn't it be great if we could do this? Let's think pie in the sky. No idea is a bad idea. And then you've got the customer engagement people going, how does this actually help anyone? How are we actually
Benefits.
living by the purpose and values that we're trying to do in the first place? And Google, who, if you don't know, Google are owned by Alphabet and Google own YouTube. So Alphabet, big company, Google, YouTube. So Google used to have a phrase that was don't be evil. And that was what they lived by. That was their mantra. So everything they did, they put it over this lens over it of don't be evil to the world, to people, to customers, to users. And then that just
It's
slowly
gone.
evaporated and disappeared over time. And now you look at your Google homepage and you're like, there's nothing not evil about how they're trying to hide all of these paid promotion links. It used to be three big blue links that you knew were the ads, and everything else was your search results. You search now, and it's like AI slop, ad. You got to go to about page 3 before you actually get the results. And it's why people are using ChatGPT and using DeepSeek and DeepMind and all these other AI things because they get better. They're still not good results, but they're better results. And it's if you follow Cory Doctorow, you'll know the enshittification of the internet that's
Mm.
happening across the board. And it's not just YouTube, not just Google. It's everyone and everywhere. And it's the basic principle is that they started out by building things that were going to be good for consumers, and that kind of shafted the business side of things. So they're like, okay, we don't care if business make money or not, but we want to make sure we make this amazing product for our consumers. And then over time, they realized that by just pulling down and shitifying the product, the business could actually make more money. And so businesses were happy. And then the third part of it is, well, what if we actually don't pay the businesses and support them properly either? What if we provide a platform that's actually really crappy for the people that are the businesses that are using this, and also really crappy for the end consumer, but we make a butt ton of money? Wouldn't that be the best outcome? And enshittification is where we're at.
Yes, in shitification. For those of you who don't know who Renee Ritchie is, as Pete mentioned, Renee Ritchie came from an old blog called the iPhone blog, and it turned into a company called iMore. And he was quite massive in the whole iPhone explosion back when it all happened. I was a member of that group and got to know him through there. And then he moved on to a show you may have seen around called MacBook Weekly, where he would sit on there with that dude. I can't Leo Laporte. Hey, then he took the job with Google, and he's been there. He's the liaison, and he's got his own channel, and he's on the what is the community YouTube channel?
Creator something like
Creator YouTube channel, and he's the one who's kind of sticking up for us. He's very passionate about like creators and stuff, so you can only imagine how much he's going through at the moment. Seriously, but from my time knowing him personally, I mean, even on iMore, I've won 2 iPads in one competition, 2 iPad minis. So I know him through that and have spoken to him. This is a long time ago. So at least we have somebody on our side who's trying, and he definitely is trying. So the other thing I want to mention,
sorry, go on.
I'm just pushing.
I know we'll go off.
We've got a lot. We've got a lot. The other thing too, now this is a thing that bothered me on Facebook for the longest time. There's a lot about Facebook that bothers me, but this thing about moving things around and not telling you. Facebook is the worst for it. They've been doing it for fucking years, where they will take you go to your settings where you know where all these things are that you can turn on and off, privacy, and then the next day they just move it all and put it under a new header, or they move buttons around, and sometimes they do it within like days, and you go and say, well, where's that button gone? And they do this on purpose to confuse you. They do it because they don't want you to turn these things off. They want to track you. They want to do all this stuff that Facebook does because you're the product. Yeah, you're getting a service for free. You're the product, and they want to make money from you. And it happens here on YouTube. Now, just so you know, there is a beta program here on YouTube where you can sign up and they'll message you, send you emails with new features, and you can opt in and try them out and give them a test. But lately I've noticed they've been doing these without opting anybody in. For example, if you use desktop YouTube, you may have noticed over the last month or so, they moved the volume slider on the videos. They changed the little buttons to little pill boxes. And man, when they moved that volume slider over to the other side, it was a thing. Oh, for me, it was a thing. You've seen how I sit on my couch with my little keyboard, and I'm left-handed on my mouse. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, the volume's over this side, and that muscle memory is so hard to change. So 2 weeks of it, I got used to it. And then what do you know? They moved it back. I was just like, why? Why would you do? It's very frustrating, and it's so sad to see them doing it because it doesn't make the experience fun. And we're all here to have fun and get away from the troubles of the world. And I don't need to, in my tiny little animal brain, have to worry about where the fucking volume slider is. Pisses me off.
I've talked about this before, and people are probably getting sick of me saying it and being like a broken record with this sort of stuff. But yeah, it is companies trying to just squeeze out every dollar, and it does come down to dollars and cents because their view is, like you say, if we can hide a setting so people don't find it, or we default it on and they don't turn it off, and we can make an extra 2% profit per user, that could be $7 million for a company like Facebook or someone like YouTube. So they want to be able to optimize the performance. But you'd think, as someone, and I've worked in like UI teams as well, UI user experience, you would think you would want the user experience. Go to your streaming platform of choice. And I don't care if it's Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu or Max, HBO, Max, HBO, whatever you're using. They are all the same in that if you load up that front screen, you would think that it would pop up with, here's what you were just watching. Because what do you want to do 90% of the time when you go to your streamer? You're watching a show, or you've got a couple of shows you're watching. So surely that little panel that's here's the last 5 shows that you've watched, continue watching them, would be the top, right? Is it ever the top? No. It is about 5 things down behind, hey, it's Happy Gilmore 2. Come and watch this. Oh, here's an ad for something that we've got cross promotion with. So you have to go down. Why? Because they think, hey, we've got an opportunity here. We can advertise to you. We can give you something new. It is why when you go to YouTube, to bring it back to YouTube, you get your homepage is nothing to do with what you've subscribed to. It's sometimes vaguely to do with what you've been watching recently, but it'll go either 2 ways. It'll be completely random where you're like, I have no idea where this came from, but obviously some algorithm has decided I really like this now, like I really like property auction shows now. Or you watch one video of something and suddenly your entire subscription feed is full of the exact same types of videos over and over again. And neither of those are the right thing. I want like a nice variety. I want YouTube to be like a TV channel where sometimes it gives me warm comfort food, but sometimes it challenges me and gives me something a bit different. But you can almost know, like, by what you watch. There's a new video game that came. I play NHL 26. It's been out for 4 days. I watched a couple of videos. Nothing but that in my feed now.
Yeah.
Completely taken over to the point where I'm having to go into my subscriptions tab to find any of the music creator friends or type Jade Start into YouTube to find you because you're never showing up in my feed. So yeah, I say all that to say it's the companies. The reason they're doing this sort of design stuff is deliberately to make it harder for you so that they can eke out a little bit more watch time, which equals a little bit more profit.
And listen, speaking of listening, right? We all know, right? This is not a conspiracy. All these
Mm.
platforms on our devices are listening to us.
Oh, it's
And
transparent.
the thing is, we have opted in. It's in every set of terms and conditions. Just for example, last night, sitting on Clubhouse with my friend, I have an idea, and I say to him, I'm thinking about buying a new guitar. I've always wanted to own a Strat, never owned a Strat. So I went looking for this Strat. There's this Strat I've been looking at, and I've bookmarked it. It's coming out soon. I'm going to get it when it comes out, so that's all cool. And then I jumped back over to YouTube after talking aloud on Clubhouse. And what happens? Fucking 5 videos sitting there waiting for me on that exact guitar. And it's like, that's nice, but I've already decided to buy it. Piss off. And now everything is that today. I open it up. Everything, you just look at one video and your whole feed just becomes that thing. There's got to be some kind of balance. I know that everybody's investing in this AI thing and they think it's going to work, but it's not. It's causing horrible problems everywhere.
It's and it's weird. It's like, what do people use AI mostly for? To kind of work around all the things that we've developed, and it's weird that a lot of the things that we want to change are the things that have been put in place by the companies that we then want to work around with the AI. It's why everyone's abandoning Google search for AI search, because you can say to AI, I only want this. Please don't ever tell me about this. Please make sure when you do this, do this. And yes, I said please, because you've got to be nice to your robot overlords and waste all that
And
extra
waste
energy.
all that water and energy.
Yep. But yeah, it's why people are so big on AI at the moment. I think for the most, I mean, there's the AI bros that want to make profit from it, and yeah, fair enough. There's always going to be them. There were the crypto bros before them, and there were the course bros before them. But yeah, the vast majority of us that are using this AI stuff is just to help out, and that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm not using AI for everything, but I released a video yesterday, and instead of sitting and brainstorming for 30 minutes about the title, I said, give me 20 title ideas, and one of them was pretty good, so I went with it. So yeah, I don't know, that got off on a tangent there, but yeah, it's related to the fact that you're being tracked by everything, and the experience you're getting from these places that serve you up what they think you want is not aligning with what you want. They're telling you what they want you to want, and then we're all kind of just like the mouse in the maze, just tapping the little pellet button and getting a little hit of it, and then they're like, yes, you want this, and now you want more. And yeah, it's not until we vote with our feet or our wallet, as someone mentioned in someone else's show lately about another topic of where you should be spending your money, which maybe we'll talk about later. Yeah, that's the only way that you can do this. And you can say then that, well, where do you vote? What are you going to go to Rumble? Like, YouTube do kind of have us in a corner here, because there is only one place where you can go. But the reason, and we'll talk about features, the reason that YouTube is trying to be more like Twitch, trying to be more like TikTok with shorts, is that they want to be everything. They want to be the everything app to everyone. They're a bit like X. They're like Elon. They want to be everything to everyone.
They want to keep you locked in. They just, and the same as Facebook. Like, Facebook just implemented this really pain in the ass thing that I've been dealing with. So if you're in any groups on Facebook at the moment, you may want to check if your posts are actually going through on groups, because they're going to spam. Because Facebook has this thing called admin assist, and in theory it works really good, but they changed the algorithm 2 weeks ago, where anyone who posts a link that goes to an outside source, aka YouTube, it goes straight to spam. And I didn't know this for 3 days. I've been posting all these videos of what's coming up. And then I look one now, man, every group, my thing's just sitting there in spam. Nobody's seeing my stuff. So I've had to reach out to all of the admins of every group, which was so painful. But then I found a workaround. You just upload the image of your thumbnail and then put all the details in the link, and it doesn't go to spam. So if you're struggling with that, just upload the image and you'll get around it. But this is, again, this comes back to these changes that they don't tell you about.
Which is, again, because it's a meta product, it's so ironic, because what's the Instagram thing? Link in bio. Like, you cannot put links in your Instagram, and that's a deliberate thing to inshitify that platform, because why? They do not want people leaving Instagram. They don't want you to promote your YouTube video on Instagram and go from a Meta property to an Alphabet property because then they don't have your eyeballs and, more importantly, your data anymore. So they want to keep you on the platform. So they provide a link. And so this is the same thing. And eventually they'll probably make a workaround where as soon as you comment with a link, they'll remove that comment as well. Like it's a game of like chasing fires and putting out the little fires. And then, oh, if we found another place where we can set a fire, and they're like, oh, we'll come and put that fire out too. And it is. Are we going to stop this? Well, no. We're in a capitalist society here, and we're late stage capitalism, which means that we've put ourselves into this position where number do have to go up, and shareholder value and investor value is paramount. And if you think you're not part of the problem, if you own a pension fund, if you have a 401k, if you've got superannuation, if you're invested in a managed fund, you are part of this problem because you can bet your bottom dollar that you're invested in the property market, you're invested in the technology market, you're invested in finance because you might not be directly doing it, but this is the problem. It's the mums and dads that are like, oh, this is terrible. Well, yeah, guess what? That $1 million superannuation fund that you're relying on for retirement, that's only making money for your retirement because it's investing in all these things that you say that you hate. So, yeah, just be really careful because the hypocrisy is strong in this one.
Let's say hello to a few people I've missed. Rachel Lower, hello. Doug Kidder. I saw we've got Chris Lane. He's driving, and be careful. Barry Glenn, Joe Glenn, welcome. Who else? Sim. We've got Riverbend Sim here as well.
Hello.
I saw up earlier. I saw Scott as well. I do believe. I'm just trying to trim a bear. Hello, Doug Kidder. I think I got most of you. I'm trying to keep up with it all. If I've missed you, call me names in the chat. It's all good. It's an interaction. I don't really care. Don't take it to heart. Let's talk about the little video I made a little while ago about chat handles in the chat. Because here I was going, I've got the scoop, everybody. They're changing everything to chat handles. And I'm part of the dummy group that they're testing it on. And Scotty Butters, they'd done it too. And then they turned it off. Now all the what's going on? But it is happening. So basically, the way these things work with beta testing, they've tested on, like, say, me and Scotty from this community, whoever got picked, and then what they do is they turn it off for you, and then they go and turn it on in other market areas for other people, say in the UK or whatever, and they do tests there, and then they'll turn it off, and then eventually, once they've done all that, they're going to turn it all on. Why are they doing this? Well, they're doing this because there's a few reasons. One of them is nobody can tag people on mobile devices. And once they add these @handles, then you'll be able to tag people on mobile devices. It's so long overdue. Rene Ritchie confirmed that it's real, so it is a thing. They are doing it. I've got receipts. I bring receipts to the table today, folks. So the other reason that they're doing it is to control spam and bad faith, bad actors who are coming in and causing shit and causing problems in the chat. That's one of the reasons. So they want to create a safer environment by being able to stop people doing this, because you would have seen on big channels, like just say a big channel, somebody makes a fake account. Because here's the deal, because we've got two nicknames at the moment, you've got your @handle and you've got your name. It's so easy for me to make a Pete Johns Studio Live today, but the @handle is not being displayed in the chat, so I can then go in comments and say, hey, come to my WhatsApp and I've got a prize for you, and it's all a fucking scam. So you would have noticed over time the shorts live streams and the shorts chats have been @handles for the longest time. In the comments on all videos are @handles now, and they're rolling it out in the chat. It's going to be a change, but it will be a change for the better. And the other reason they're doing it is so you can actually purchase memberships on mobile and gift memberships on mobile, because it is so long overdue. Mobile is one of the biggest markets for YouTube, and why it's taken this so long is absolutely beyond me, but it is coming. So, you know now. What are your thoughts on that stuff?
Yeah, look, at first, Jade, I've mentioned this to you a few times that at first I thought it was just the in Twitchification as opposed to the in shitification of
Mm.
YouTube that they wanted to be more like Twitch because YouTube are losing out when it comes to streaming, live streaming, especially for things like gaming. Twitch is number one. They're not making any money, and Twitch creators aren't making as much money as YouTube creators, but it is definitely the place people go for live streaming, especially the under 30 crowd. Us older folks, you probably don't get it. In fact, if you're anything like me, you go on Twitch and they're like, yo, I'm having a subathon. Can you sub me? And I'm like, yeah, I can. Oh, wait, it costs money. So, yeah, it's a whole
Yeah,
different
right.
game. Like, why is a subscription costing me money? Like, can't I just subscribe? Oh, no, you can follow me, but if you subscribe to me, that costs money. Or you can hype me, or you can give me XP, or you can buy me bits. And I'm like, too old for this shit, to quote Danny Glover. But yeah, it's at first I thought that's what it is. If it is actually to do this, I'm hopeful yet skeptical because I'm really hoping that there's not a disconnect there. Because I think at the moment the hype and the XP and the leaderboards and stuff is coming out of sales and marketing. The let's actually fix the things that are fundamentally wrong for our creators and users is probably your Renee Ritchie user experience group, and then it's the operational people that are dragging their feet, going, "You got no idea the spaghetti code behind this shit." Like for us to be able to actually fix these things and implement them is going to take hours and weeks and years, and then the sales and marketing team go to them, but first you got to do hype. And so if it's like any place that I've ever worked, the let's fix the fundamentals gets pushed to the back of the queue, and the let's chase the new shiny gets pushed to the front of the queue because the sales and marketing teams have the in with the CEO and with the GMs and the managers and the vice presidents and all those people to say, if we do this, number go up. If we do that, sure, long-term growth, customers happier, but don't you want shiny? And they're like, oh, yes, please, shiny. So,
Yes. And here is the proof. I was in a live stream. It was Dean Nimmin who was talking about all this. Renee Ritchie was in the chat. He is the liaison with YouTube. Says they are working on it. And yes, working on mobile tagging finally. So super chats have been available to us on mobile for the longest time since it came out, but it is the memberships, and they've got to get on it because the memberships are hugely successful for YouTube. It started out as very slow when they kicked it off, but they are turning out to be quite successful and giving hopefully, members value, and you have a lot of flexibility to have private streams and do all these things and really cater to your members. So
yeah.
it seems stupid to not have it on mobile. So
Well, yeah,
very
and the
happy.
reason that it's not the tagging, because tagging is just a quality of life thing for
Yes.
users. They don't care if you can tag people or not on mobile, but memberships, hey, that's the finger thing, and the finger thing means the money. So anything that relates back to profitability, and I know I sound like people are going to be old lefty commie Johns again. He's talking about how capitalism bad, capitalism good, but late stage capitalism bad because we're now chasing the number go up at any cost. And it used to be, like you said, Amex were like blue box values, and they knew that if they treated their employees right and they treated their customers right, the numbers take care of themselves. Whereas now it's gone the other way. They're like, we need this number, this artificial number that the market says we have to reach so that our share price goes up and everyone's happy. And then let's work backwards and work out what we need to do with our people. If we need to shaft a few customers and screw over a few consumers, then so be it.
Riverbend Sim, this question we will answer shortly. Now, I feel the need that I have to make sure I point out we will address these things. I'm not ignoring anybody because we did a show, me and you, Pete, and we ignored, we're not ignored. We were talking about a topic and some people didn't get their. We will get to it. It's definitely
100%.
a topic here.
I have views, and I know Jade does
And
too.
so do I, and I agree 100%, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to love what we're going to suggest for that. So let's move on to this one because this one's very interesting, and I'm going to bring up, of course, I've got receipts, folks. I love receipts, man. You may have heard that YouTube are rolling out some pretty full-on stuff concerning extending our built-in protections to more teens on YouTube. So there's already, this is one of the things which confuses me. There already is a YouTube Kids app. And if you sign up to YouTube and you put your age as your age, you're not going to be able to see anything. And as creators, we already have the power to turn off kids. I have mine turned off because I don't know if you know this, got a little bit of a foul mouth, and I just like to protect kids because I preach the walk instead of just talk bullshit like our leaders. But this is a thing, and why is it a thing? Firstly, they're going to use AI to interpret a variety of signals to help us determine whether the user is over 18. Now, this in itself is pretty scary because the AI that we have so far is dumb as dog shit. And what it's going to do is go through your account and kind of surmise if it believes you're under 18. And this is troublesome because there are a lot of channels out there of people covering things like Pokemon and kind of things that may be deemed as childish, but they're adults. And I saw an example of somebody who's already dealt with this. For starters, they've been on YouTube for 15 years and they got the message saying, we believe that you're under 16 and you're going to need to upload your government ID. And before I pass it over to you, Pete, there is a reason for this. It's not just YouTube being overprotective. It started kind of, you can blame us for this. It started here in Australia with the E-Safety Commission. The E-Safety Commissioner, and in July they rolled out this measure that's kicking off from December 10, 2025, where all children under 16 will no longer be able to access social media. And that includes Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X. I'm pretty happy about the X thing. Children should not be there. YouTube. Currently also, so this is rolling out in December. The sole purpose, a significant purpose, they're protecting kids. There's a lot of concern about it because, as we mentioned, like with companies, that they are harvesting your information. They're harvesting all this stuff and selling it. And if you get questioned by YouTube and they say, we think that you are a young person, then you will need to upload your government ID, bank card, or whatever choice you choose. Now, this is not only happening here in Australia, it's also rolling out in the UK. And this changed over on the 25th of July, 2025, under the guise of protecting the kids, pornography, self-harm, suicide, all this kind of stuff. The irony is with the Australian one, Pete, when you dig into the nuts and bolts of it, they didn't put these restrictions on prawn. That seems really stupid and very frustrating. And for those of you in the US, don't think you're getting off as well, because guess what? It's coming to you as well, because America's kids are in crisis, and they're going to be doing it different in the US, of course, because everything's state to state in the US. So, of course, Florida, well, you know what they're going to do? First, they're going to be the first ones to do it, of course, and probably be the strictest, but they will be rolling this thing out, and this is causing concern. Firstly, because AI is monitoring this stuff, and it will be monitoring it with all of the companies. Currently now, YouTube have filed a lawsuit against the Australian government, which is interesting in itself, because they've said, hang on a minute, we don't like this.
We're not social media.
Yeah, we're not social media. So now they've launched a lawsuit against the Australian government. So that's kind of happening as well. Very strange times we are in. I'm trying to find the Google threat. Here we go. So Google threatens to sue if YouTube's inclusion in the Australian kids media ban. So because basically what happened here in Australia, the government said, we're going to let you off the hook, YouTube. And then in the 11th hour, when they actually released this, they added YouTube back in. So YouTube's kind of going, fuck you, we're pissed off, we're going to sue you. So there's a lot of movement around this stuff. I'm interested to hear your thoughts in the chat or in the comments below about uploading your government ID. For me, I'll pass it to you in a second. It's not a concern, because if you are monetized, you kind of got to do it. You got to prove who you are so they can pay you. So there's that. And even if you don't do it now, you're going to do it when you get monetized, if you choose so. Pete?
Yeah, look, I have very mixed feelings on this stuff because, yes, when someone please think of the children. The problem with this is, as soon as you say I disagree with this, it's either, oh, well, then you want bad things to happen to children. Well, no. As the father of a 13 and a 15-year-old, I do not want the bad things to happen. And do they use social media at the moment? Yes. Do I try to supervise it as best I can? Yes. And my concern is that what's happened in the UK so far is the use of VPNs has accelerated like thousands of percent. As soon as this happened, guess what? All the kids did. They jumped on VPNs. They said that they were in Russia and they still got to all the sites and still do exactly the same things that they were doing before. Kids are way smarter than the adults, especially the adults in in politics that are actually making these rules. And again, it's similar to what we were saying before. The people that actually understand how internet security work, your Steve Gibsons and your really smart dudes that actually comment on this sort of stuff, will tell you that there is no safe, constitutionally protected for you US folks or private way to identify whether people are 18 or not, or 21, or whatever age you want them to be. Because as soon as you give up that data, someone's got that data. And as you give it to the good guys, then the bad guys can get it too. How many times has there been breaches of public records, of government data, of private companies? I've been part personally of about 7 in the last 12 months where you just get that email. It's like, hey, Qantas here. Yeah, everyone knows where all your flights have been for the last year because we just lost all this data. So it happens. And as soon as you say, yeah, let's start uploading government IDs to the likes of, dare I say, X, can you imagine giving X a copy of your government ID and assuming that that's going to be protected well? No.
Well, the
And
problem, I'll pass it back to you just on that
yeah,
note. The problem is that each company, YouTube, X, they have all hired individual companies to handle this data, and we don't know who they are. And
yep,
the
third party.
majority of them have been companies that have had multiple names and gone bankrupt or been sued or been questioned on their practices, and they've completely, like companies do, create a brand new name, bury everything. And what are they doing with this? Well, of course, they're selling it. And how secure are they? We don't get a choice in this. And with the way that these decisions are made just around like moving around the volume on YouTube, I don't think I trust them on choosing a company to handle my fucking data.
Yes, and I think Rachel O'Hara in the chat's kind of got it. If we want to protect the children, we will teach them critical thinking skills and show them the value of empathy. And it's like I couldn't have
Yes.
said it better myself because that's exactly what I try to do with my kids, and that's what I say that is missing at the moment. Because our schools are teaching our kids a lot of things, but they're not teaching them critical thinking skills. And it's more important than ever because with the rise of AI and fake things and deep fakes and things going out that are just factually incorrect or that are at the least bit a bit dubious. We don't have, there's a lot of adults at the moment that are just going, oh, I will just believe whatever person A says and person B therefore equal bad. That's not critical thinking. That's just herd mentality and going with the flow and basically being part of a cult. And yeah, if we want to protect kids, we need to have open conversations with them about the fact that there's some horrible things on there. So I say to my kids, look, you need to learn how to be safe online because online's not going away. The internet's not going away, social media's not going away. So you need to learn how to be safe online. I will help you if you ever come across anything, and look, do I trust that they will come to me with every little thing? No, of course.
No.
They're probably
They're
doing,
kids.
but that's kid, that's teenager.
That was
We've
us.
always been doing that. And yes, there is more danger because they're online and they could be liaising with someone and there could be cyberbullying and that sort of thing. I don't reduce the impact of the fact that that goes on. And we need the education. So schools are putting on sessions now that are talking about this stuff. So for parents that don't understand how this works, they don't know what a finster is. They don't know that the kids can be like in these back channels chatting to people. They don't know about Discord and they don't know how all this stuff works. So yeah, they don't know about this exploitation that's going on with especially with young teenage boys. So yeah, there's lots of stuff there that is bad. I get it, but the answer isn't just banning has kind of never worked because what banning does is it stops the people legitimately wanting to do the thing while the people that wanted to do it anyway will find a way. I hate to say it, but it's not going to work. And the people that want to do it will find a way to work around it and do it. And let's not even get started on the fact that you are if the government are judging what is safe and not safe, and you already mentioned Florida there. Yeah, like there are some things I would be very worried if my kids were LGBTQIA plus and they were trying to search out information about themselves and what they're going through, and then suddenly they get flagged. Like, how bad is that going to feel for someone that's like a 14-year-old queer kid, and suddenly they got no access to anything? And depending who their parents are and what school and what country they live in, then suddenly they're completely disconnected from the only community that was keeping them going. So yeah, there's inherent danger in that. Not to mention the fact that YouTube really isn't social media. And in fact, if you noticed, YouTube are removing. Actually, they've just added it back, didn't they? They used to have that member chat feature that was probably the closest thing to social media, where people could come and chat to a creator and have sort of community discussions. And yes, the comment section of YouTube is a bit like social media, but it's all public. It's all out
public,
there, and
yeah.
it's already monitored. So it's not like there's no DM. I
That's
can't
it.
jump in there and DM Mark Bro right now and threaten him. I don't know why I would. Mark's one of the nicest guys around, but you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, I don't know who Mark is, and I don't know how to contact. I do because he's my friend, but I wouldn't, and no one can do that. Like, no one could go to Rachel O'Hara, and if I can't even message her to say, hey, you sound like you're on a really good page. Any advice for me raising my kids? Because that was a great comment. But so it's very different from other forms of social media. So yeah, hopefully YouTube gets some love there. Otherwise, you know what? That 15-year-old that wants to learn GarageBand, they might not be able to get to my channel, and that's kind of crap because we need people to be able to create music.
yeah, and the thing is, they already have demographics set up. Like if you go to your creator
Yeah,
channel, and you can see there's 13 to, what is it, 13 to 17, I think it is. So
yep,
it's already set up that bracket. And when you turn off content for kids, it's already cut off to that demographic. Plus, if you've got kids, right, you'll know bringing them up, right? Now, if you've got kids, you'll know this. Once they start going into puberty, they want to be treated like an adult and they want responsibility. So taking away that up to 16, like, I get it. Hey, 10 years old, 11 years old, I get that. That's already in place. But we have to encourage kids to become adults and make the right choices and all of this stuff. So I don't know. I would love to be able to have the option to turn off kids and still allow that age group to come in, and maybe I would curb my swearing a little bit more, because kids are like sponges. They learn things, and I agree with you, Pete. And I think that's the way YouTube's going about this with the lawsuit against Australia. They're arguing that we are not a social media platform because we do not have direct messaging, and that's how I've always looked at social media, Snapchat, all these things. If there's the option to private message and bitch and create drama in the private back channels and the sexual predators and all that kind of stuff, that's social media, and that's the stuff we need to crack down on. YouTube is open, it's in your face, and you can see when somebody's an asshole in the chat and when somebody's an asshole in the comments, and you can remove them and hide them from the channel. So I don't get that kind of stuff. We're going to have a break because I need to run the ad. Our wonderful sponsor, DistroKid. So bear with us here for a moment. Let's just let me get this cleaned up, because I couldn't do this show without our wonderful sponsor today. So let me just tell you a little bit more about that with this wonderful pre-recorded clip that I organized earlier. This presentation is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. Introducing DistroKid, your ultimate music distribution solution. For just $29.99 a year, DistroKid empowers you to release unlimited tracks on all major music platforms worldwide, including Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, and so many more. Plus, use my link distrokid.com/VIP/JadeStarr and get 7% off your first year. You'll also keep 100% of your royalties and gain access to valuable tools like instant verification on Spotify and detailed revenue analytics. Don't let your music go unheard. Join DistroKid today and take your music career to the next level. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring today's presentation. Yes, I can't thank you enough, DistroKid, for your continued support here on this channel. I'm a tiny channel and I'm very blessed to have them support my channel. I couldn't do it without them, and I couldn't release my music. And if you're thinking about releasing your music, you should do it too. We'll be talking a little bit more about DistroKid and the Spotify stuff soon, because me and Pete, we've got a solution to maybe make things a little bit easier with this Spotify drama that is going on. We're going to hold on to this AI stuff at the moment. I know AI, because recently YouTube announced that they were going to start culling channels or demonetizing channels, the faceless slop channels that are out there. Now, let's not be confused about this stuff, right? So, yes, sometimes me and Pete use AI-generated images on thumbnails. Here's my take on it just quickly. I don't make money from those thumbnails, right? My problem is with AI and generating stuff is the people who are making money from it as a business and they're not actually doing anything. This channel is based on the content. Hopefully you're not here for my thumbnails. I know YouTube put a lot of emphasis on thumbnails, right? But from I don't know. Look, I've always felt like I see channels that use the same thumbnail every week. Chris Lane Sr. does a happy hour every week, and it's on today, right? And he uses pretty much the same thumbnail, and it doesn't impact his content. It's about the content. It's about the people, and it's about what you give as a content creator. So to me, I do sometimes AI generated stuff. Why? Because I can't just go out and make an image of me with a sword fighting robots. But I can do that on some thumbnails. But you'll still see I use thumbnails with the real images of me pointing and doing stupid faces. But I can't win either way, because regardless, if I put a thumbnail up with me pointing with my mouth open, somebody leaves a comment going, I'm not watching your content because of your stupid face pointing with your mouth open. So I go, all right, I'll upload a cartoon image of myself. I hate the cartoon. You can't win, all right? But talking about AI, YouTube said we're going to take these faceless channels, because you would have seen, folks, there's AI places you can subscribe to, and you can make an entire YouTube video from prompting, and it'll add the video, it'll add the voiceover, it'll do all this shit. You've probably found these videos, and you feel so impersonal. And YouTube said, look, we're going to stop this because it's unfair to actual creators, and we're going to demonetize you. Hello, Shelley, I see you in the chat. And that's great. I like that idea, okay? But again, how they're going to implement it is another thing, because they're going to need to prove that you're fake or whatever it is. And then here's where the problem comes. At the same time, on the same face, they started fucking with people's videos, and people started noticing it on shorts. So what they're doing is, on select videos, because that's how YouTube works, they just don't tell you, people are reporting that their shorts that they've uploaded, they've gone back and had a look at it, and YouTube has gone in and enhanced the video and added some brightness and it's like, hang on a minute, you either want this AI thing gone or you don't. But obviously they've invested a lot of money in AI, so much money, and they're starting to get to this point. I think even the owner of OpenAI said recently, this is a bubble and it's going to burst. They're starting to realize that they're not going to reach general intelligence. They've fed it all the information they can, and it's not going to go any further. Now we have some glorified chatbots and a bunch of bots talking to each other everywhere. This is concerning. When are they going to move it to full-length videos? Are they going to tell us? Will there be a little disclaimer up the top of the video saying this video was altered by YouTube? Where's the transparency, Pete?
It's funny, isn't it? Because we as creators, there's a little tick box that we can tick if we have used any AI video in what we're producing. And the fact that we have to do that and then YouTube can change our stuff without telling us is a bit of it. It's like my old saying, it's like, why have standards when you can have double standards? They're twice as good, right? But yeah, I do think that one day I'm going to wake up, I'm going to look at a short video and I'm going to be like, hey, I have two eyes now. That's interesting. They've fixed me because you got to be careful with enhancement, don't you? Because the uniqueness and like people putting out videos that are deliberately lo-fi and grainy because that's what they want them to be. They want it to be real and harsh, and then they're just like smoothing them and upscaling them. It's like that horrible TV setting you get on your new TVs where it's like, could you please make this amazing 24 frame a second movie look like a Mexican soap opera? Because I really want it to look like these people are just sliding around the room instead of moving in real motion. But yeah, it is rough. You've got the receipts,
Yeah,
Jade.
of course, I've got the receipts, and it started. I think it was Rick Beato. He uploaded a video. He went back and looked at his video and went, "Wow, I'm looking extra smooth today." And you know, the thing that they're doing, you know, that horrible those apps that smooth your skin, and every time you see somebody with them, you just go, what has happened to your face? And I remember when they first came out years ago, I used them for a little bit. This is back in 2013 or whatever. But they're actually doing that. Rick Beato's face looked like it was made of plasticine. He was horrified. And
Oh,
the interesting thing is they rolled it out. They've been testing it on bigger channels, which is interesting because those channels have got very big audiences. And when they complain, everybody hears about it. So I would have thought they would have targeted, our smaller channels first, so it wouldn't matter what we complain about because we're just yelling into the void, hey, look at us, please listen to us. But it's a real thing. These are the receipts. YouTube haven't really come out and admitted it, but it's happening. I couldn't find anything in all of their help saying that they have admitted doing it, but yeah, I don't
yeah.
know, man. I take a lot of pride in setting everything up to look the way I want it, and I don't really trust them to. It's not that I don't trust them. I don't trust AI to do it.
And it's not like we don't have. I mean, I logged into Zoom to jump into this chat, and the first thing it said was, "Look at all these amazing AI enhancements that we have now. You can do all
Mm.
these things." And I'm like, yeah. So, and same with StreamYard. I know people use StreamYard, and there's that weird filter that's just creepy, uncanny valleyness that just smooths you all out and makes you look perfect. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't think we want perfect. Well, I don't want perfection. And eventually, where does it get to? Are they going to replace the next Rick Beato video? Is going to be like, "Hey, I'm Rick Beato, and I think the YouTube content ID system is really good." And they keep giving me lots of presents, and it's like, yeah, it's going to change the intent of content. And again, it's that double standard of YouTube won't let you edit a video, right? So once a video's out there for obvious reasons, and I get this question because I've done videos about how to edit a YouTube live stream or how to edit a YouTube video, and people are like, "Oh, bruh, I can't." This is the voice that people use when they ask stupid questions in comments. "Hey, bruh, you showed me how to trim a piece out, but you didn't show me how to add a piece in." And I'm like, dude, you can't add into a YouTube video that you've already released. And they're like, "Oh, but I said something wrong and I need to say it right." And I'm like, can you imagine the slippery slope of YouTube saying, "Oh, yeah, you know what? You've released a video and a whole bunch of people have commented on it and said how wonderful it is." And then you open with like a Nazi salute and you add that into the front. And I'm like, no, I don't think that YouTube are going to ever allow that. And yes, I did go there. I've lost the internet now.
Yep,
I've made the Hitler
it's
reference. I
over.
live.
It's over. The other
But
thing
you know what I
too.
mean? Yeah, YouTube can do that, and they would choose to be able to do that. So yeah, it's a bit of a double standard when they're doing all this enhancement, and if we do it, it's smack on the wrist or make sure you declare it.
Yeah, and they added too. Like if you go and add a short now, you'll notice there's a text prompt feature in there too. You can like prompt a fucking image in there and then prompt a video in there. It's like, well, hang on a minute. You want me to create these shorts, but do you want me in it? Where do I fit anymore? Like, because I'm sure the people who come and watch me are hopefully here for me. If I start like doing AI me's of talking and stuff, then that is where I draw the line. Like as I said, a thumbnail that takes a picture of me, makes it so uncanny valley and ridiculous that it's clearly not me. To me, is fun. But I don't want it to sit there and have my voice and talk and do all that bullshit. That's what my quirks are. Don't become me, motherfucker.
And again, the irony of I think this is more damaging for kids and for young people
Yes.
and for older people than anything else because we already have the problem of chasing dopamine hits. We already have the problems of chasing vanity metrics and being encouraged by algorithms to do things. And if suddenly it's a bit like, the problem that we had in the past was like with the fashion magazines, and it's like, oh, it's an unrealistic expectation for all these airbrushed skinny models, and then there's young kids looking at this going, I must look like that now. Imagine if people didn't sometimes see that Johns forgets to put his green screen up properly and he's got a little glitch in the corner. So then they just fix it for me. And then some creator coming up is going to be like, oh, wow, if I make a mistake, it's just the worst thing ever. And it's so not. We want real. Like I know I'm doing a song in Songtember at the moment about all of this, but music is real and video is real and engagement is real. And the more fake stuff that's going on, I know you've got a rant coming up about fake stuff. The more fake stuff in the world, I think the more damaging it is for us because it blurs the line between reality and fantasy in a bad way. Because yeah, fantasy's great. And it's the way I feel about AI. So your AI thumbnails and my AI thumbnails, no one's looking at that thumbnail right now going, that's real. I can't
Yeah.
believe Jade was playing a guitar in an empty stadium with robots cleaning up the
Well,
garbage.
that's not even me. I didn't even prompt me in it. I just said put a lonely guitarist in the stadium with robots cleaning up. That's
Yep.
it.
Which is great. And the same with the thumbnail for this video and for others. No one thinks that they're, and this is the thing, the difference between AI that you're just having fun with that's making things look a bit cool and a bit weird versus trying to make the AI so realistic it's tricking people. And I think
Mm.
as soon as you add deception to AI, it's bad. And that if people say to me, you don't like AI music, I'm like, no, I don't like AI music where people create it, pretend that they created it with real musicians and real instruments, and then try to profit and benefit from it and get a following for this fake band or their fake artist with their fake faces and their fake music. If they just came out and said, fucking love Suno Me. Here's these Suno songs I created. I think they're rad. It's a robot, but I think they're rad. I'm going to share them with you. And other people could be like, cool, they are kind of rad. So as soon as, if there's no deception, I think there's no problem. I think you can
Yeah,
use AI till the
I
cows come
agree.
home. But as soon as you use AI to deceive people, I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, and look, if, in this community, I'm not tooting my horn or anything like that. I've been covering AI like from the very beginning.
Hmm.
I covered like I did a song where I made your voice and put it.
Yep.
I did Tom Araya from Slayer and put him on your song, and I covered Mid Journey when it first came out. I covered Suno and Udio. We both of us we did a show where we talked about the terms and conditions and the lawsuits going on, and we read through all that stuff. I've tried to keep and be honest about the way I use AI because I pay for
Yep.
ChatGPT per month
Yep.
and I use it as an assistant to help with certain things. I was not going to pay anybody else to do it because I'm just not earning that amount of money, barely paying the rent each month. So
Yep.
having paying $20 a month to have something that can help me research things save time, and time
Yep.
is money, man. And especially when you're doing multiple streams every week and trying to help people do music and do all these things, I'll take on anything that can help cut time. But yeah,
And
AI.
you've covered it with complete clarity and complete transparency, and that's the difference. And
Yeah.
I think I've definitely tried to do that as well. I've never put anything out in the world that I've said is actually real and actually me and wasn't assisted when it was, and vice versa. If I've done something and I've done it all by hand, I'm proud to do it. I'll put it out there and say it. If I've used an AI drummer in Logic to create drums in my track, I'll say, yeah, how cool is the auto drummer in Logic? Look at this, look what it can do. So I'm actually proud to put out the fact that, yeah, there are some tools that are going to help you as a human create real engagement with other people. It gives me the irrits. It grinds my gears when I see people, and sometimes they can fool some people some of the time, but it becomes very obvious over time. And I don't get involved in the drama of calling people out or
Yeah, me
trying to
too.
bring people down. I just don't care. But what I will do is just say, Here's reality. Here's what's actually real. And if you don't see the person behind the veil, maybe just ask questions rather than just accept things on face value. And that's what I'm going to teach my children because they're seeing things. My parent, there was that Phil Collins image a while back where it was like, oh, it's Paul McCartney next to Phil Collins' bed playing a guitar to him because he's so sick, and isn't that nice of Paul McCartney? And I'm like, well, it would be if it wasn't completely AI generated and fake as shit, but. For some people, they if you want to believe it, and if you want to see it, and you want it to be real, it's very easy to think something's real, and it's getting harder to detect. I've had fake emails and fake calls and fake things lately that even I'm not saying even Superman Pete, but even I, who am 100% critical and just really sarcastic and think that everything's a lie, I've been nearly fooled by some things quite often lately. And we talked about last time I was ranting here, but Jim Browning, security expert, biggest scam beta channel on YouTube, he loses his YouTube channel to a scammer who basically impersonated YouTube so well that he thought it was them. So yes, friends don't let friends be deceived by AI or by anything.
It's the deception that pisses me off. And don't get me wrong, look, I'm all for using something like Suno to create, because it used to be you'd have to take a sample from somebody else's music. You can now go into something like Suno and create a sample to then put into your song, or just to get an idea. That stuff's great, but it's that whole, I'm just going to do a prompt. There's no other editing whatsoever. But what they're doing now with Suno is they've added a DAW feature in there too. So they're giving people this, you are making music. They're trying to hey, you are really making, no, but it's a prompt and you're just now chopping it up and move. So that's where it gets a little bit gray, but you've got to have some human. That's my take, but whatever. We're moving on from that because I want to talk about leaderboards, XP, and hype. Because now a lot of people wouldn't know about hype yet because it really hasn't been pushed, but it is a thing. It is actually happening. And here are the receipts, my friends. Hype, giving fans a stake in the success of their favorite emerging channels. So this is pretty much just rolling out. Hype. So basically, if a video's been out for less than 7 days from a creator with under 500,000 subscribers, you can hype it. And so you can basically give points to hype this video, which pushes it further into the algorithm. Now, why is this an interesting thing? Especially, this is going to work really good, I do hope, the good intentions, for things like live streams. Because the replay value is not that good with live streams. You're either there or you're not. And this will help push these videos, live streams, or VODs is what they call it on Twitch. And they're trying to get VODs, get more pushes into the stream. They're trying to bring that balance up of like shorts, pre-recorded videos, and live streams. So they're all getting, and people will have hype points that they can use thanks to XP. So that is the reason the XP is there, from what I know, because you would have noticed in the chats, you can see it now, there's XP going on. I can't actually, oh yeah, we've got XP going on. So I don't know how the XP works. Nobody really knows how the XP works. Sometimes you can come in and type one thing and then not type a thing for another 20 minutes and you're still number one somehow. Somehow it's maybe due to SuperChats. If it's answering questions, we don't really know. They haven't been clear on it, but they exist. I do have this, live leaderboards. How do they work? Leaderboards reflect ranks for each viewer's engagement. Viewers can earn points actively engaging during the stream. The leaderboard displays the audience. The more viewers engage, for example, via live chat, messages, super chat, super stickers, or GIFs. So they're just saying either or higher the rank they may be on the leaderboard. As viewers engage in the live stream, they'll notice a crown icon, blah, blah, blah. Top 3 get a badge. And I'm guessing that they're going to use this for these hype points. What's your take on the XP? I know you've done a show on how to turn it off, but you kind of can't, can you?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, us as creators, we can't turn it off. So if you're there going, this doesn't seem like the sort of thing that Johns would want on his stream, you're right, and I can't do anything about it. But you personally can turn it off and not participate in it. And yeah, I've got a video on the channel showing you how to do that. I this is the Twitchification of YouTube. So 2 years ago, YouTube was trying to be TikTok. There was no two ways about it. They were implementing all these shorts features and the subtitling and the stickers and the GIFs and the ability to do vertical video short form content. So they wanted to expand out because a lot of people were watching short form content on TikTok and less people watching YouTube. That brought a lot of people back to YouTube. And then the challenge they've had over the last few years is that with the rise of Twitch and Discord servers and the like, a lot of people are sort of just working around the whole YouTube thing. They're streaming live on Twitch and they're chatting on Discord. And what do Twitch and Discord have? Gamification. They have all of the
Yes.
badges and they have all of the little icons and they have the XP and they have the leaderboards and this is what YouTube didn't have. So look, if I was investing in YouTube, and full disclosure, I'm not, unless, like I said before, my retirement fund is, which they probably are, so I probably can't say that. But yeah, if I was investing in YouTube, I'd be like, yeah, okay, good on you. You don't want to be left behind. And that's the thing. I get it from a business point of view that you can't just sit there. Like we often say things like you said before, like, why are they changing the volume button? Why are they moving the setting in Facebook for where you have to do a thing? Yet at the same time, if these same companies did absolutely nothing, never evolved, never changed, never upgraded, never updated, they would be left behind because there would be the new hotness. There would be something new and cool. I think the challenge is that YouTube aren't playing to their strengths right now and they really want to be everything to everyone. And the big problem is not giving the options. So for streams like this, look, tell us in the chat, let us know if you're all about leaderboards and XP and hype, tell us, or maybe don't, because you'll probably get shot down by other people saying, nah, bullshit. But I don't think that there's many people that would watch you and me because, two people in our 40s and 50s talking about music creation is not exactly the sort of thing that a 21-year-old Xbox gaming freak is going to want to hang out and listen to. Yet there would be YouTube streams right now where they'd be like, yo, fam, we got the XP into his house. Like, this is the best thing ever. Boo, 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 boo. So that's different. So what I'm saying is I'm very old and young people probably like this. And they do need to try and appeal to different people. But it's almost like, yeah, you're trying to put everything into every demographic. And it's like, I'm, I'm just thinking of like Mavis, 75-year-old Mavis. It's like, welcome to the knitting channel. And today we're going to be, oh, wow, pew, 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 75 XP. Well done, Ethel. Like, is this where we're going to? So it could be, it's a good thing, but it's not for me, and it's probably not for. But maybe I'm the minority. That's the thing. If companies it's a bit like Apple and their iPhone Air. It's not for me, but it's obviously for someone. Someone
Yeah.
wants their phone to be ridiculously thin.
Somebody who wants features from 2015 in a thin form factor, go for it. The thing is, look, my problem is with the XP. I don't care about it. I don't notice it anymore. It is what it is. But the problem is, if you're going to go in on this, go all in, YouTube. Like, add the crazy hype train shit that Twitch does and the things that the confetti that goes across the screen. Like, add the stuff. Like, go all in on it. Like, take time, spend a year to develop it and get it all right. So when you introduce it, it's engaging and people want to be involved in it. It's so half-assed at the moment. It's just like people sit and go, yeah, but what does it do? What do I get? Like, there's nothing. And in the chat, this is why I changed the emojis, and for members have, people from our community as emojis, and everybody who's got emojis now has their little things. Gary Hubbs has got his pizzas and flamingos and all that kind of stuff. I think about the chat like you're at a show, and sometimes, like at an event, a sporting event, the game can be a bit fucking boring. So somebody brings along a beach ball and they tap it around. That's what this stuff is, to keep people engaged, and they don't need to follow along to everything us two boring dicks are saying. But they haven't gone all in, and that's what is frustrating. Like, YouTube, if you're going to do it, do it. You've got the money, guys. Just do it, man. Make it exciting. Give people some fun, and just don't go half-assed.
Yeah. And again, YouTube is all about engagement. So focus it on the engagement, because so many times in the chat, there is, like you say, there's the A conversation, and then there's a B, a C, and a D. And there's people having fun and people having backs and forth. And sometimes someone will say something so cool that, I want to be able to hype people's comments, like being able to, and you can, like they've half-assed this. If someone gives a donation, you can thumbs that up. But I'd love to just go like, oh, that was champagne comedy or gold, Jerry, gold. Like, and just be able to press a button when someone says something really cool and really fun in the chat. Like, why is it not more interactive and engaging as opposed to just trying to copy it? And it copied it so much that when I was trying, so here's the thing, I was trying to get ChatGPT to make a thumbnail concept for my how to turn off the XP leaderboard. Every time I mentioned XP or leaderboard, it said, "Oh no, 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 no! We can't use those terms in any sort
Yes.
of thumbnail we create because that's a copyrighted
Copyright.
thing."
Yeah.
And it's like, but YouTube copied it straight from Twitch. So how is it actually like it's no one owns XP or leaderboard, but they wouldn't do it. Oh, look at that. Testing to Jade's benefit.
Thank
See,
you,
look,
Thomas.
I can hit a like button on that one.
Yeah,
Boom. There
but
we
see,
go.
if they built that in, so it automatically did something onto your stream and like added something where it went da 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 da, and you didn't have to, because I can do that with like with OBS, and I can use Stream Elements and make those things. Valerie Bart does it on her thing, so when there's a new member, a little ding. I used to do it on this channel, but it's a third party and it's all difficult
Yeah.
and all this shit, but they could implement that in. And look, Thomas says here, still Illa, still number one, and he hasn't said anything in chat for over an hour, but he gave a super chat. Maybe that's it. But we've thought that before, and it's not because we've checked this stuff out. Also, hello to Shelley in the chat and Gary Hubbs. I do see you with the gold Scotty Butters coin. So if you are a member, you've got some gold Scotty Butters coins to throw around. Where are we up to? We want to move because we're half an hour to go. Let's quickly talk about this thing because this is very frustrating and I don't ever see this being fixed, but we need to mention it. Wouldn't it be sweet? Wouldn't it be nice, Pete, if there was a YouTube creator help desk that really helped? If you had a problem and you go, oh, I'm a valued person, creator here at YouTube, I'm monetized, they pay me, I've got a dedicated kind of place I can go to get help, but every time you do it, you get this. Have you tried turning it on and off? Why do you not know how your own... I'll tell you why. We all know this. It's all companies do it, outsourcing to third parties, and people get pissed off and go Indians and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's not their fault. It's the company's outsourcing. But even though... Now, I've worked for third-party companies. Before I worked at American Express, I worked for a company that was hired out by American Express to do work for them. And the thing you came up with all the time, cold calling, well, you're not cold calling, you're warm calling, but they'd go, how do I know you're really from American Express?
Yeah.
Tell me what I spent last. And they wouldn't give us those details. Yeah. But we got everything else, but you couldn't do that. And this is very frustrating. Whenever I've had some problem, like when I got banned off the channel, got those content strikes for whatever it was, they never actually told me. Like when Leela's channel got removed and they never gave her an explanation. They just deleted her channel and she was gone. This stuff's important, man. Like it's a business relationship. Fucking give me somebody to talk to.
Yeah. It's to the point now where I don't bother using it. And maybe that's the point. Maybe they want to make it so unhelpful that no one actually bothers trying to go through help to get anything done. If there's some problem with YouTube, I will go to a group or a forum or someone I know who knows stuff about YouTube and ask them before I'll ever bother trying to use any sort of help system. And yeah, I know, look, I'm a broken record with this stuff.
Yep.
Businesses want to make money. It costs money to support users. Having a team, a dedicated team that is actually staffed up correctly to actually be able to manage calls or chats or emails is expensive.
Yes.
And companies don't want to do it because they don't see the direct link to their bottom line. I think it's wrong to do that, but I think it's true. And I think that that's the same with YouTube. They just, it's not, if they lose 10% of channels and 10% of people are unhappy with them, but 90% is okay, that's still pretty good for them. So I'm not saying they don't care, but they kind of don't care sometimes to do it. And I've had the same thing when I got a soft ban for leaving a comment on something about, I've no idea what it was.
It wasn't even mean. It was just kind of snarky. It was just snark, wasn't it?
I honestly can't remember what I said or which one it was, but yeah, it was probably to do with someone. And I was probably just saying, why can't we all just be nice and get along? Like, right? It was probably a little bit sarcastic or cynical, but Yeah, I asked a question. I said, "Can you tell me what this like?" It wasn't that they gave me a bad response. It's that I got no response, and that I couldn't get
That's the
hold of
problem.
anyone. And I sent in a ticket, and it just got buried and ignored, and no response whatsoever. And I've had the same with like content ID stuff and copyright claim stuff. Like it is too hard for them to have people to actually answer things. The one time I actually got through to YouTube support was when I was trying to fix my daughter's account. This is interesting because it's very much related to what we were talking about before. So, in the early days of YouTube, my daughter wanted to start sharing videos. And look, I was absolutely in control of this account, but I put it under her name. But it wouldn't let me upload content because if I put her date of birth in, it didn't work. So, what did I do? I just aged her up 10 years. And then it got to the point where she turned 13 and needed to have access to all of these other YouTube and Google features. And guess what? Yeah, she's now a 23-year-old. And trying to verify her age, I couldn't do it. So
Nope.
it took me a very long time to get through to Google because I tried to message them and then I tried to live chat with them. And then the live chat person couldn't solve it. So they put me onto a secondary person. And then they called me and they said, "Oh, yeah, we've got your thing, but it's a weird one because we can't do this and this and this." So yeah, it took about an hour of back and forth and about four different people before I got the answer. And yeah, this was probably, well, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, it is. I don't know. I've worked in help desk stuff and I've worked in customer service stuff, obviously, and it is hard because in order to staff up things effectively. And again, it's that whole thing of the operational side versus the finance side versus the sales and marketing side, and operations loses out most of the time, which is sad.
Money, 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 money. And look,
Money, 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 money.
we've talked about content ID. We're not going to delve too much into content ID. We know the dramas with it and all that comes with it. The one thing I will focus on with this that doesn't get enough attention is when you do get some kind of ban or demonetized or these things, and they give you this option. It's not really a good option. This option to, as they say, have a human take a look at this and we can just make sure we didn't make a mistake, because sometimes AI makes a mistake and you go through that process, write out the very small amount of words that they give you, which I think is 500 words, which is really small for a super complex thing. I know I went through it, and then you hit submit and the answer comes through in under a minute. What human is doing that? That is the most frustrating thing, because why say that there's somebody that's going to have that option? Why lie? Like, there's enough lies in the world. Please don't lie to us. Like, just say it's going to a secondary AI that we think is a bit smarter.
Yeah.
And yeah, good luck.
Yeah, it could be the theme of the show. It's like transparency and honesty and
Yes.
a lack of deception would just be great in everything. Like,
Yes.
just tell us what you're doing, tell us how it's going to impact us, and you'll be surprised at how forgiving we can be if we don't think we've been lied to and deceived. If you've just said we're doing a thing and here's the reason why, even if the reason why is the finger thing because it means the money, I get it. Like, we're not that, most of us are not that stupid that we don't think that businesses should make. There are some people that are just like, "I don't know why YouTube don't pay me more. Why don't I get paid more for my Spotify stream? Why don't I get?" Yeah, it's capitalism, it's business. Like, the money's either there or it isn't. And if you're not getting it, it's going somewhere else. So either they're running the business so poorly they're not making money, they're running the business so well that they're making lots of money and not passing much of it on to you, or they're Spotify and they're investing in AI weaponry. It's just one of those three things.
Yep. Hello, Jamie Lynn. Welcome aboard.
Hey,
Now
Jamie.
we're at that point. So, Riverbend Sim, we're going to answer this question now. So, recently, this week, I did a stream which I really thought was going to get demonetized because if you were there, if you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it, because I kind of let loose a little bit on Spotify and I was dead serious because I know I get demonetized. I used to get demonetized a hell of a lot more for swearing. And we're going to incorporate the swearing stuff into this as well too, because there was a time when YouTube decided we're going to change the swearing stuff and you can't swear between, was it 12 seconds or something in the beginning of your video, 7 seconds, whatever it was, who cares? But you still kind of could swear, but it's just the excessiveness of swearing. Well, they did a backflip on it recently and kind of said, oh, you can kind of swear again. So that's a thing. And on this stream that we did, I swore a fair bit and I was harsh. I was very critical to Spotify and I kind of mentioned, some stuff about Epstein and Donald Trump. And that would normally get me demonetized. Strangely enough, didn't get demonetized. So these new swearing liftings seem like they're doing their thing. So that's a good thing. But we talked about Spotify on this and how evil they have become. Riverbend Sim asked the question about DistroKid. Wouldn't it be good if DistroKid offered a service where you could kind of cut out Spotify? Well, it's already kind of there when you think about it, because when you release music, here's our second ad for the day. When you release music through Spotify, through a DistroKid, you can come over to your upload. So we're going to upload music here. And the first thing that you get when you select this is choose the services you want to send your music to. You have complete control. You can just uncheck. And even when you've released your music, you can go back and just uncheck it and they will remove it. So the problem is with this is that Spotify is still a really big service, even though their practices are pretty questionable and they're sponsoring like war machines and drones and stuff at the moment. But and the thing is, it still is the number one, as they say, for streaming. And a lot of people are like, well, if I take my music, I don't make any money anyway, so I'm just going to leave it there anyway so people at least can get to it. Yeah. Well, folks, now most of us here use YouTube. And we use it every day. And there's a lot of people who still don't pay for premium. Did you know that if you pay for premium, you will no longer have those ads, right? And you won't be playing the game with using the ad blockers, which YouTube keep trying to block and all that stuff. But the other thing that you do get is you get free membership to YouTube Music. You're already using it. So here's a great way to ditch Spotify and still have your music. There's apps for Android, there's apps for iOS, and you pretty much have YouTube Music already on YouTube as the topic channels, unless a creator has gone in and changed their channel to a music channel, which you can do. What do you think about this plan, Pete?
Yeah, I use it. I love it. I always have had it. And while you were talking there, I was looking up the pricing because I know that'll be the question for some folks. They'll be like, yeah, well, it must cost a hell of a lot more. In the US, it's $13.99 for YouTube Premium and $11.99 for Spotify. In Canada, it's $11.99 for both of them. In Australia, it's $15.99 for Spotify and $17.99 for YouTube. So you're paying the equivalent of a couple of extra bucks, and you're getting YouTube Music, which is almost the identical catalog to Spotify. You just don't get Joe Rogan, which I would think is a benefit or a feature. And you don't get audiobooks. So you get like 20 hours of audiobooks with Spotify. Apart from that, it's almost an identical library. YouTube actually has some benefits too. You can upload stuff that's not in there. So I've got all my 12th Man CDs that I used to listen to that are not really very 2025 compliant. I listened to them the other day. But I got like old Martin Malloy comedy CDs and random Adelaide bands that from back in the early 90s. So I've got all them as MP3s. And you can upload like up to, I think, 1,000 songs that are just part of your collection. Before Tool were on any streaming platform, I had all my Tool on my YouTube Music. It used to be called Google Play Music, and it used to be separate, but all integrated now. And you get YouTube Premium. And if you don't know YouTube Premium, not only the no ads, I know I sound like an ad for YouTube, but I honestly think that people don't know this stuff. I think that a lot of people just pay their Spotify tax or their Apple Music tax, not realizing there's actually a better way to do it. But with YouTube Premium, you also get the ability to have offline viewing. So you can download videos. You're going on a flight, you can download your videos and put them in a download folder. And the thing I use all the time, which is background playback. So if, like me, you listen to YouTube, more listening. So when I'm out walking and someone's doing a live stream and I'm listening to Gary Hubbs or Laurie or Jade or anyone, I can just have them playing with my phone in my pocket and off and be paying attention to the beautiful springtime surroundings in my area without having to have my phone open and the screen showing, which uses less data. And it means that I don't have to have my phone open. It uses less battery. So that's only a small smattering. So I actually don't I think the problem is not, oh my God, Spotify dominating. I'm like, why are people still using it? And the answer is community. And unfortunately, it all kind of comes right back to what we started talking about with our YouTube community. There are people that love their Spotify communities. So for my daughter, all of her friends are on Spotify. So they share playlists. So they all want to know what everyone else is listening to. And then at the end of the year, they share their wraps, and that's what they want. So I would argue that Spotify is more of a social network than freaking YouTube is. So why don't you ban Spotify for kids, Australian government? There.
Well, they probably will, because Spotify are going to be introducing that DM feature by the end of this year. So it's
Yep.
coming. The question here, how does it affect YouTube creators if people are watching without ads because they use premium? Well, they have a pool for that too. So you're still making money if people are using it and watching your content. It's not as much as what you get for an ad, but it still is, you're still earning money and you're having a more pleasant experience. And I'm all for that. Right, I put the ads in the show halfway through, if I remember. I'm not today because sponsored by DistroKid. That's not a problem. I'm all for that. I'd rather people have a better experience, and YouTube Premium does that. There's a lot of good stuff with YouTube Premium, and look, Spotify to me is just a pain in the ass. The other thing I just want to mention, speaking about the channels, and we mentioned topic channels, right? You can actually come in here with your DistroKid account. Let me just remove this comment here. And there's this little section here called, if you've released your music through DistroKid, you can come over here, YouTube official artist channel. You can click on this. Gary Hubs has done this. Quite a few artists have done this already. And you can choose your artist. And what it will do, I can't do it, see, because I have too many artists. It has to be one artist, right? So if you're Gary Hubs, you come in here, select Gary Hubs, and it will convert your channel to a little music channel. And then all of your releases will appear on your YouTube channel as well. And that takes away the topic channel, which you're seeing, which is bizarre. But the reason that topic channel exists, that is the source for YouTube Music. So when you download the YouTube Music app, that's where they're getting those clips from to make it the Spotify experience, but the YouTube app. I hope that has made everything clear. So, yeah, look, I had no answers when I did that Spotify show because I'm sitting here saying all this shit and I'm not removing my stuff. But, you know, there is a kind of a middle finger right there to Spotify by just going, you know, I already use YouTube, and the majority of you, look, let's admit it. I'm a YouTube addict. I can't help it. That's all I do is watch YouTube. YouTube. I sometimes have four tabs open with 4 shows running at the same time. You know, that's my dopamine hit. So it just makes sense to use that.
And look, also, I know some people have curated their Spotify and they've used Spotify for years and they would not change. And you know what? More power to you. It's your money. You spend it how you want to. But I think it's a bit like the Pepsi challenge. I think if you don't take the YouTube challenge, you won't know, because there once was a time where like Spotify Music was much better. It had a much bigger catalog than Google Play Music. But now that YouTube Music is integrated, what it actually does is it will just play the audio of a video without the video, even within YouTube Music. So if you're looking, like I look for those same obscure early 90s bands, I'm like, I want to hear this song by Tumbleweed from their Galactica album. And it's like, oh, that's not available here. But then it'll just go, but here, we found some rando that uploaded it as a YouTube video, full album, Tumbleweed, high res. And then you listen to that. So, yeah, because it integrates with YouTube, and then things like playlists are shareable between YouTube Music and your regular YouTube. And me and my wife sit around and we watch, like we've got YouTube playlists that if we're on a speaker or you're on your phone, you can listen to. Or if you're actually on a TV, you can play the music videos along to them. So, yeah, look, I know I could talk for hours about it. All comes down to you. But if you don't like the things that Daniel Ek's done, you don't like the fact that Spotify have chosen not to pay small creators, then you can vote with your wallet and use something else. And again, I know, like Apple, Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, and Spotify. It's a rough choice, isn't it, folks? I'm not here to say that any one of those are the gold standard. They've all got their problems, but so which trillionaire company shall I support today? Yes, they all have problems, but yeah, find one that works for you. And again, if there's things like that are directly impacting the people you love, like me and Jade, then yeah, maybe use the services that support us.
Absolutely. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. This is the part of the show I've been looking forward to talking about. It's going to tie into my show coming up on Fake this week on the Rant. There is a fantastic channel out there. You may have seen it around called Venus Theory. This amazing artist started off much like kind of me and Pete, teaching people how to use apps, how to make music, and would review gear and software. And over time, you know what? And this can happen. You get a little bit jaded and start to go, hang on a minute. Is this just a consuming thing or whatever? And Venus Theory over time has started creating different content where he confronts stuff, important things, and creates these beautiful videos that are well thought out, beautifully written, beautifully shot, artistic, and he confronts stuff that many of these companies don't want people to be talking about. And this week he released possibly one of the best videos going around. Here it all is. It is called We're All Fucked. And it is about CD Baby, Spotify, DistroKids mentioned on there, but it's not about the companies as such. It's more about the broken system that we have. And the system is broken, right? And this leads us into, so what this video covers is some pretty disturbing stuff. And we're going to now talk about botting at the moment, Google Ads, and the need to look popular with numbers and vanity metrics, because it is an epidemic going on at the moment. And we'll start off with things like bad actors using things like botting to hurt people. So, and he covers this really well, and there's multitude of ways to do this. There's instances of artists, say on Spotify, and you may have seen this happen to you if you've released music through a digital streaming service, right? You've accidentally, when you've uploaded the album, say for instance me, I'm called Jade, Starr, Dread Circus, and the way I've capitalized my artist name is a capital J and S for Starr and Dread Circus, and the C in Circus capitalized. But and I did this once, I released a song and I didn't capitalize one of those letters. So what happened when it went to Spotify, it created a whole fucking new musicians page. And that is a headache, because then you've got to go in and you've got to go through your provider, or you can go through Spotify and try and change this. And it takes time and it's difficult to go and do it. And so your music now gets put where the rest of your music is. Now, can you start to see where we're heading here? This gives anybody the power to sign up with a digital distribution service and just, I don't know, release some kind of AI shit and just use your name, because unfortunately the system that we have it's broken. This is where we need vetting, right? Where I'm uploading the stuff and they say, is this really you? Because people are uploading their music to big artists. Just for an example, Mariah Carey. Somebody uses her name and just puts it out there, and just that artist now has all this shit that's not their music. And there's if you watch this video, there's a multitude of ways people are using this broken system to hurt people, and it's not cool. There's botting. We've seen it on YouTube. You can bot people's streams. You can pay a third-party dodgy company to bot people's streams. So all of a sudden, that person's stream gets 200 people in there, and you can't control it. And people can actually go and buy subs for your channel. And YouTube then looks at your channel and goes, hang on a minute, this person's buying subs, and you didn't do it. Somebody else is doing it to you. Me even talking about this feels shit, because I'm giving it air. And
Yeah.
But how do you go around this to talk about it, Pete?
Yeah, it was scary. So I've done videos on this in the past, and I've talked about why vanity metrics are bad, why you shouldn't buy subscribers and buy followers and buy views. Like it does nothing. Even if it does generate revenue in the short term, which is, I guess, what people are hoping it will do, you're gonna get caught. And at that time, I was like, yeah, so sensible people that are just doing the right thing are going to be fine. See, I'm naive, clearly, because I thought, well, that's the end of it. Just don't use these dodgy third-party botting services. Don't release your music using someone else's name, and everything is fine. Except there's
People.
bad actors that want to do the wrong thing and that go out of their way to do the wrong thing. And the very fact that now, because once you get your music removed from, especially Spotify have a lot of the power in this, by the way. Like, they're not the only ones to blame, but they are the biggest player, and therefore they have the most responsibility to fix things. And ironically, they're the least likely to own up to it and accept that there's a problem and that they need to fix. But the problem is that someone could just go to a dodgy third party, pay $30, get you 10,000 Spotify streams from bots or from lowly paid workers in developing countries, and then you'll get caught. You'll be the one caught by Spotify because they've put all these streams on you. And for $30 or $50, they can get all your music taken down from all the streaming platforms. Because as
Yeah.
soon as you get reported by Spotify, to no fault of theirs, like the likes of DistroKid and Apple and CD Baby and TuneCore are probably just going to say, well, then you're being dodgy. So then we have to revoke your account. And we've seen this happen to people. And look, very little / zero sympathy for people that deliberately go out of their way to bot their own channels and their own accounts and get caught and get banned. You knew the risk going in. But now that it can be weaponized and other people can do it, I think it adds to the need, like you say, for a lot more guide rails around this stuff to be able to and it relates to everything we've talked about, to be able to have someone to talk to explain the situation, to be able to prove what you did and didn't do. But in the digital world, with VPNs and with IP spoofing and with all the things that people can do, they can make it look like you did it anyway. So it kind of comes down to one person's word versus another person. So I don't think there is a solution for this. I think part of the solution is exactly what this channel did, which is shine a light on it. I think having things in the shadows that people don't know about is no good. And having exclusive information that only the bad guys know about is also bad. So the fact that you now all know about this and go watch the video. It's not short, but
No.
it's captivating. And like you say, really well edited, really well written. He's a lone creator, doesn't have a team, doesn't have AI bots doing all the stuff. He just creates great stuff. So go and watch it. And yeah, and then you'll probably end up being pretty scared, but don't be, because he actually I won't spoil the ending, but he finishes on a very positive note, which is
Yes.
basically what me and Jade say all the time, which is
Always.
don't stop creating music. Don't let the actions of the minority of dickwads stop you from making and creating and releasing and recording and doing all the cool things that we like to do, because there is hope while there is community and while there is people and humans interacting with each other. So yeah, but yeah, a good one to go and check out.
I want to help Joe and Barry Glenn right here. Firstly, I want to say hello to Gordon Lee Weaver, Brad Example, and Ivan Idea. Welcome aboard. If I have missed you, I'm doing my best to lock it in my head. Let's talk about this. Joe and Barry Glenn have an issue where their name's slightly different. There's no space between. There's a comment right there. There are two ways you can actually do it. I've tried both. Here is one of them. Over here on your DistroKid, if you're using DistroKid, yes, because it's helpful when needed. Down the bottom here, and there's a thing called the Fixer. And no, it's not a hitman that you can organize to take out your enemies. And
You're going to send the wolf? That's all you had to say.
What needs fixing? And I can say here, my music is on the incorrect page. Someone else's music is incorrectly on my page. And then you go here, you choose which provider it is. If it's Spotify, you come over here, Spotify, which artist is it? And you can pick your artist and say, I picked Filthy. Of course, we'll pick that one. Do you already have an artist page? No, let Spotify make a new page. Yes, add it to my existing page. So I've had success doing this. It takes a little bit of time to go through. The other way that I've done it is actually just go into my music, and I've just gone in and edited it. Just gone in and taken here, and you can actually, can you still do it? I think edit release. So you can actually go in here and hit edit release, and you can change the name of your artist here. Takes about the same time. It will kind of, I would try the Fixer first. You're going to get your best results with that. So there you go, Joe. It's easy to go ahead and fix. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, and on that, can I just say the importance of having a unique artist name?
Yes.
From the word go is massive. Like, I know there's people that are like, I want to be, and there was an example, I think her name was Ember or something, and she's like, yeah, I have this problem because there's like 20 different people that are called Ember, like that are releasing music. So the more unique your name can be, the better it is. And weirdly, because Pete Johns, there are literally no other Pete Johns. So if I was doing it again now, I'd call myself Pablo Q Enterprise or something, because they're very unlikely to be someone else. But yeah, just don't call yourself like, where's Slayer? It's like, no, that's not going to work
Fucking
out.
Slayer. Another thing I want to talk about, botting. So now I've covered this on my channel quite a couple of years ago. I did an experiment myself with Google Ads. So let's talk about Google Ads. Now, my experiment that I did was I ran a Google ad on my clip for Metheist World Divided. And I did it live on the channel. I showed you how to use Google Ads, how to set up Google Ads, how much they cost. And yes, they can give your video a lot of views. It will cost you money. Now, just to be clear, if you're thinking this, right, going, so if I spend a lot of money and put a lot of views and I monetize, this will start bringing in money and maybe I'm paying money and I'll get more back. That's not how things work. Remember, think casino. You're going to go in and you're going to spend money. You're always going to lose eventually. You'll never like make more money from the views. You got to spend the money to get the views. But here's the problem with it, right? And I'm seeing this a lot. This comes down to fake. And I'm going to talk more about this on this rant on fake on Sunday. There are music channels out there who are doing this. And you can tell, you can see them, right? And here's how you tell. They've got 70,000 subscribers. Each of their music videos has, I don't know, 18,000 views. Go and look at the comments. 3 comments, 12 likes. There's a discrepancy there. Now, for me, I look at that and I feel sad for that person because they've got to look in the mirror each day and go, shit, there's really nobody watching my channel. All right, there's 0 people. And you can tell because they may do a premiere and premiere their music and there's nobody there because there is no real engagement. And sure, it looks good on paper, but you're surrounding yourself with absolutely fucking nobody. And that is got to be so demoralizing. Like, and you can yell into the atmosphere as much as you like. I just reached 100,000 subscribers. But if they're all paid for through Google Ads, and yes, this is a legal way to do it. YouTube will not take you down or anything like this. This is a part, because remember, Google are an advertising company.
Yeah.
And that's where they make their money. So you can do this. But at the same time, you've got to go out there and you've got to engage with your audience and actually really manifest an audience, or you would just be sitting there with you and your fucking numbers. And you can tell, right, a channel that, just look around our community, yeah? You'll see somebody drops a video, say Laurie's Mishmosh. People turn up to the premiere, 20 to 30 people, right? And then the video sits there and may get 300 to 700 views. And that's super cool as an artist. We talked about this early. Man, to get 700 views on a song, this would not happen in 2012. Nobody would listen to your music. So it's incredible. But to sit there and fob off that you've got 20,000 listens on a video, you're fucking lying to yourself. And you know what? We're not dumb. People aren't dumb. They'll see it and they will not engage with you, and you will be isolated and nobody will interact because you're fake.
Yeah, again, it's the theme of the show, isn't it? Like deception. And I'd even have more respect if someone came out and said, I've actually got a bit of low self-esteem. It makes me feel really good to show a subscriber count or to show a view count and make it look like I'm more successful than I am. Like, at least then you've got a little bit of honesty put towards it. But yeah, it is really sad. I like to think, I saw a meme the other day and it was like a gravestone. It was like, worked really hard every day. And it's like, no one's ever getting to the end of their life and going, yeah, I wish I'd spent more time working harder. I wish I'd spent more time grinding. I wish I'd spent more time in the office. Or no one's tombstone has their subscriber count and their follower count on it. It's not what life
I'm doing
is
that
about.
now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh no, don't order it yet because I don't want it to be at the number at a certain number. I'm like, as soon as you hit 160,000, Johns, there you go. But yeah, like no one gives a crap about that. At the end of the day, people want you to be a human and to be nice, and like the internet and online communication and social media is a two-way format. Whether we like it or not, it is two-way communication. It's different from the old way. Like Prince could get up there and say, say, yeah, I love I've sold 1 million albums and I've got 1 million fans. And for him, it was not only real, but important. And he didn't have to interact. He didn't have to grind it out and work and be a nice person. In fact, he wasn't. By all by all reports, he was a bit of a dick. But yeah, why? I don't get why you'd want that. And it's either again, it comes down to, in my opinion, narcissism, sociopathy, or really low self-esteem. The first two of those, get yourself some support, and the third one of those, get yourself some support. It all just comes down to maybe talk to some people, maybe talk to some professionals, and maybe find a different way to actually seek happiness, because happiness isn't it a subscriber count? Happiness isn't it a view count? And I know there'll be people there going, all right, for you, John's Mr. 150,000 subscriber. Yeah, but I don't check my stats every day. I don't wear that as a badge. For a while, I had my little 100,000 plaque behind me, and then I realized that it made me feel actually a bit gross. So I don't have that behind me anymore. And you might be thinking, oh, well, why do only like 30, 40 people come to your live streams? You've got 150,000 subscribers. I've got a weirder problem, which is that I put out some videos that people watched. They very nicely subscribed to me, and then they never came back and watched another video again. So I have a whole lot of legacy subscriptions from people that I helped get the gunk out of their headphone jack. So it's a bit of a running joke. I've realistically got, like most people, I've got, of the 150, there's about 10,000 people that watch, not regularly, but watch some of my content. There's about 1,000 true fans that actually really dig and appreciate what I do. And there's about 100 people, I'm looking at you, patrons and community members, that are dedicated supporters and really like engaging with the community. And that's cool. I love those 100 people. I think that that's amazing. If you told me 10 years ago that there'd be 100 people that would pay to listen to the sort of drivel that I spout out about music and about technology and about life, I'd be like, you're a liar. But that's rad. I really dig that. So yeah, I know. I say all that to say, yeah, don't chase the numbers. Be happy with what you got, and just be nice to people, because everyone that's in this community and everyone in this chat that's been chatting, there hasn't been one person that's come in and said, meow, 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 yo, bro, play my 5 beat. I just released a song. Look at me, me. Everyone's been like, oh, hey, I saw your stuff. Oh, yeah, hey, congratulations on this. Oh, hey, yeah, Mark, good to see you. Yeah, happy birthday to your grandson. Like, that's the sort of shit that's important and that matters, not, oh no, I only got 20 people watching my video. I really wanted 30.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter at the end of the day.
And I joke all the time about the Hello Gauntlet, but that's what separates us from... Look, if you've been to like any other kind of genre of YouTube live streams out there, you don't see this really hello, even though I saw you in the last chat 5 minutes ago. And you can joke about it. We joke about it, but that's the thing. I still think it's the most endearing thing. It's fucking beautiful, and it's what makes what we have really special. So and it costs nothing to give a shit about somebody else ahead of you. Right? It costs absolutely nothing. And speaking of, hello, Manny, Shelley, somebody else I saw, of course, Robbie, another beautiful soul here. And Russ made a good point. I just want to talk about this with numbers, because numbers can be important. Here's the deal. Record labels these days do look for channels and they want to know your statistics. And if you've ever had a sponsored deal, right, these days, companies, like say you look at a company that's using like Ground News as their sponsor. The way it works, if you don't know, you sign up with a company and you give them access to your social media services. You give them basically not the password, but you give them access to your fucking statistics on Instagram, TikTok, all the things that you use. So they can see the numbers coming in. And the same thing is now happening with, I guess, the small amount of record labels that do sign people. They will want to see numbers. And that's good if you've got these numbers. But then if it turns out that those numbers are all absolutely generated and they can see that. And I'm going to show you on this fake show coming up on the Rant how to see if somebody's completely botting their channel. There are ways to see it. But if a record label or a company that sponsors you sees that, hang on a minute, the views on your channel, you've had 20,000 views on this video, but they're all for 5 seconds. They see it's a Google ad and there actually is no engagement. So you're working against yourself in that way. The true way, and I know it's hard, I know it's really hard, learn your craft and work really fucking hard. It's called paying your fucking dues. And even though we're not out hitting the streets and playing gigs each week and getting ripped off by, it's the same principle. Pay your dues, rewards will come. Sure, it's slow, but damn, it feels good to actually earn something.
Yeah, and in the nicest possible way, because I agree. Like, don't hear what I'm not saying, which is that you shouldn't try to be successful. You should want to engage with more people. There's very few people that are like, you know what, 100 people listened to my last song. I hope 50 people listen to the next. No, that doesn't make sense. I
No,
understand that
of
you want
course.
progression, but if you want to go from 100 to 1,000, but 900 of those are botted plays or ads or people that are doing you a favor by subscribing and watching, oh, just put your channel on in the background and you'll get lots of streams. Yeah, that's what I think is absolute BS. So yeah, I think be successful and do that. But I also think my absolute advice would be don't do music to pay the bills or to keep the lights on. It is harder than ever for like it's both easier and harder. I had someone email me this week that asked about promoting their music. And I said, look, if I had the solution, I'd probably be doing it. I'm not one of these people that tells other people and sells courses about how to promote your music and then aren't making money from my music. I will honestly, hand on heart, tell you that I make around $100 a year from my music through DistroKid. It's enough to pay my DistroKid bill every year and
Yep.
not much more.
Yep.
And I'm happy with that because that's not my main aim and my main focus. But Jeebus, if I was actually putting singles out there and trying to grind and trying to make money through streaming, the likes of what Apple and Spotify and YouTube pay is not going to keep the lights on. So yeah, it is. It's really hard. But like you say, it's hard work, but someone's doing it. It's a bit like winning the lottery though. If you keep just putting it out there, if you keep making songs, you keep working harder and you keep improving, you'll get there. But unlike the lottery, it's not completely random. Some of it is. Some of it is luck, but a lot of it is your dedication, your commitment. So the more consistent you can be and the more you can keep doing a thing and not changing around, then yeah, the better you'll be. So just keep listening to Jade and do what she says.
No, don't. Hello, sweet Denise. I don't know if I said hello to you, rock Denise. Look, we're going to finish on a happy note, of course, because that's what we want to do here. This is not a lecture. The reason I got Pete on today was to just try and, as always, give you information, the best of our knowledge to help you understand where you sit within this YouTube world and this community. You guys are already amazing. The amount of love and support you give to each other, the continuous, even if it's advice to do something better, the collaborations, the support when something isn't maybe as good or you don't like that particular style of music, to take time out of your day and even leave a comment, a thumbs up on a video, or just a love heart or whatever it is, you know, or a super chat, all this stuff. You guys are already doing it in spades, and it blows my socks off. Again, said it that many times. If I feel selfish because I don't want the rest of the world to see this, because normally when the rest of the world gets in on something good, they fuck it up. But I wish the rest of the outside world could just see a little bit more of what's going on here, and a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy, and a little bit more just putting someone else first, right? It's what's lacking. And that's not woke. That's not like some kind of like stupid thing. Man, it's gratifying. It feels good. And I know nearly almost everybody here does this already. And, you know, we're preaching to the converted.
I know. Yep. I think Rachel Earhart, critical thinking and empathy. And I think that's something that we all have. We do have critical thinking. We're not saying just believe. Jade and I would make terrible cult leaders because we don't want you to just believe everything we say and believe in exactly what we say all the time and think we have all the answers. We actually want you to think for yourself and do your own research, not Facebook research, not just finding things that align with your views and agreeing with them, but actually being a critical thinker. But more important than that, yeah, just having empathy for other people. And that's why I say, like, even the people that I think are doing the wrong things with the bots and with the vanity metrics and all that sort of thing, I do actually, even though I kind of joke around a bit and get a bit angry about it, I have genuine empathy because they're probably, like many of them, are just doing what they can out of desperation because they think it's all that they can do to connect with people and not realizing that just taking a step back and actually thinking of others first and putting others before them can actually really help. and you can do that through empathy, and that's what's good about this community. We don't have people coming in saying play my fire beat. We have people coming in saying let's play everyone else's fire beat, and then if there's time for me, give me a spin.
I love that. We started doing that on your show on YML when you started doing Play My Fire Beat. We'd sit there on Clubhouse and go, right, we're all going to go in, and we'd all discuss whose song are we going to pick if we win. I get so much pleasure if I ever win on your bloody show to move it forward, right?
Yeah.
I can get played anywhere I fucking want, but to give it to somebody else, it's just a beautiful thing, you know. And hey, I'm not putting pressure on you to say you have to do that, but
now everyone that wins and plays their own song is going to feel guilty. It's like, no, you're actually allowed to do that.
It's nice.
Again, don't be like Jade.
Yeah, it's nice. Every show I enter, I never win these days, but I've always trying to think, who can I forward it on to? Maybe hasn't had a song played. You know, it's the way to go. All right.
Yep.
I hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have, do the stuff, the things, that stuff, subscribing, all that kind of magic. There's even if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment below. There's even a super thanks, after thanks, and all that kind of stuff.
Throw some hype.
Throw some hype if it shows up for you. Again, I want to thank my wonderful sponsor for the show, DistroKid. Couldn't do it without you. Do a bitch a favor, and if you are going to release music, use my link and get that 7% off, because it helps me and it lets DistroKid know that you're watching my content. So if you're thinking about it, do it. And all that stuff. Thank you, everybody here. You all rock so much. Keep producing your great music. Keep producing your great live streams as well, and keep being who you are, because that's what brings us back each and every day. Anything to say before we go, Pete? And I'm going to close with your track.
No, except that is anyone proud that I think I only mentioned Songtember once throughout the entire show? So I'm trying to live by my own values and not be a shameless self-promoter. But yeah, Songtember, it's happening. Jade just did my drums. It's 12 days in. You've still got 20 days. You've got plenty of time. Join up, studiolivetoday.com/Songtember. That's all I got to say about that.
Castaway Studios. I'm just kidding. Can you start again? Absolutely. I can't tune in tomorrow. I don't know. Are you doing a live stream tomorrow?
Yes. Tomorrow's Saturday, isn't it? Saturday morning. Yes.
Are you going to do the reveal of my drums and listen to them
I'm
without
recording guitars? So yeah, that's a good point. So tomorrow I'm recording guitars for the very first time using Rhino, which is a guitar amp sim that Jade bought for me and is therefore forcing me to use on this song, which is cool. And Jade has completed her drums. So we'll be doing two things. We'll be bringing the project together. We'll be adding the drums in. And for those that have already submitted their hey, we've already got 3 that have come through in less than 12 hours. So thank you for that. And yeah, if you haven't checked out my latest video, jump over to that one and download the project, and then you can sing along. And we're going to have an amazing gang vocal for that big final chorus. It's going to be rad.
Also, you got to tune into Pete's show tomorrow, because there's nothing better than watching him hear my drums for the first time and watching his face go from, yeah, what the fuck is that?
I'm legit. I was going to just load them up today, but I'm so tempted to just make it my very first time reacting tomorrow. So I think people like reaction videos, so I might have to do that.
I'm very happy with them, but it's open to change if need be, as always. All right, my friends, love you all. We're going to go out with this track here, because I think this is very fitting, this track. It's a track by Pete Johns, of course, and it's called New Beginning. And maybe we do need a new beginning. All right, let's do it. Do the things that make you happy, mistakes make you better, and all the other stuff. Just be cool. Be nice. Be awesome. Don't be a prick. All right, let's do it. Thank you so much. Stay on the line, Pete, because I've got to talk to you about Rhino afterwards, just to remind you. All right, let's do it. New beginning. Let's ja.
for the next